Shot down.
Sorry. Sorry.
Oh, I'll live. I think Mike can handle it.
Favorite.
How did you get water today?
Oh, no.
That's pretty good.
Pretty
good.
See.
There aren't very many variations.
I don't know. No, there's some interesting variation.
What was yeah, what's your favorite ice cream? Dulce de leche. Dulce de leche. I like
Mahmoud, I see him in his. I really like Ben and Jerry's core with like the half brownie and half chocolate chip. Yeah.
Yeah. Rachel, she, her, and hers in third year, and I like, just a nice, fresh sorbet. On to you.
Ben.
What's so funny about that, huh? I like something fresh. That's good. Anyway.
I'm Ben. He, him, his. My favorite flavor of ice cream is just like plain chocolate.
My name is Peace. I use he, him, his. And my favorite is cookies and cream.
I'm Deborah. I use she, her, and hers. I don't really like ice cream. I like frozen yogurt.
My name's Jordan. I use he, him, his. I'm a second year. I don't really like ice cream either, or frozen yogurt, but when I have to have it, I have Oreo.
You have to.
Yeah, like family takes me out to ice cream and it's Oreo.
I'm Molly, she, her, and hers, and I'm gonna go with a really dark chocolate with brownie bits in it and sea salt on top.
My name is Willa. I use she, her, and hers. I'm from Fearless and Living recording you guys, so hello. And I think chocolate chip cookie dough is always a good tip.
I'm Jeremy. I use he, him, his, and my favorite ice cream is from Cow House. They have this thing called Concord Grape Sorbet, and it is amazing.
My name is Corey, he, him, his, second year. I think my favorite might be the Ben & Jerry's novelty one for like Stephen Colbert, American Dream.
Oh, yeah.
American Dream.
Wow.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Eric, he, him, and his. I'm old enough that Ben & Jerry's has gotten rid of my favorite ice cream like 3 or 4 times.
Get out of here.
I know, right? But it used to be Rainforest. It used to be Rainforest Crunch. But I really like mint chocolate chip, the green with the chocolate chips.
What did Rainforest Crunch consist of?
God, I don't even remember anymore. They got rid of it in the 90s.
I'm born in the
We all
before you were
90s.
born.
Like all of us.
Holy shit. A little bit.
90s kids unite.
I'm Ariana. I use she, her, hers, and my favorite ice cream is chocolate chip cookie dough.
Solid. Hi everyone, my name is Megs. I use she, her, and hers. This is going to be indulgent. I'm just like going to Walmart picking up ice cream. It's half baked, which is Ben & Jerry's, and that's half chocolate chip cookie dough, half brownie batter, with half chocolate ice cream, half vanilla ice cream. So it's just like the most indulgent thing ever. It's so decadent. But also, I don't know if any of you have been to Portland or are from Portland, but there's this place there called the Salt and Straw, and they have the craziest flavors ever. Like pear and blue cheese, honey lavender, which I've had, olive oil, which I've also had, coffee and bourbon, which is dank. And there's like this goat cheese habanero Marionberry one. It's just like the most. I love ice cream, so I also hate those of you who don't. Check.
Ty.
Ty, go.
Oh, I'm Ty. He, him, his, third year. My phone's ringing. And favorite flavor.
Are you into Base Nectar at all, man?
No. The default,
Shot in the dark.
The default ringtone.
I don't believe that at all.
It is.
Default ringtone. Probably made the default ringtone so people have to defend it that way.
Yeah. Or so people would go change it and buy something. My favorite flavor of ice cream is a milkshake. I like milkshakes so much. Doesn't really matter what flavor. Take any flavor of ice cream, turn it into a milkshake, it'll be better. That's what I think.
Hi, I'm Anjali, she, her, and hers. I'm a first year. And Ben & Jerry's fish food, all about it.
yeah,
Melted
really
marshmallow, the fudge pieces. It's got everything. It's the place to be.
Nice. So now on that note, before starting like Student Senate, I don't think I could claim legitimacy as like a facilitator or as like a student senator, and like give a shout out to all my women and female identifying people on International Working Women's Day is what it's actually called, but known as International Women's Day. So yeah, happy International Women's Day / International Working Women's Day, everyone.
Thank you, Daryl.
Awesome. Yeah, got it. So approval of agenda. What is that?
We look at it.
Okay, yeah, cool. So yeah, we've all seen the agenda. We all.
Can I add something to the agenda?
No. Oh yes.
It's shared with us.
I challenge that
Would
position.
it be helpful if we drew this on the board even though we're sitting here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably.
Is everyone? You can do it.
I can do it if you want.
I don't
Just use
think
your-
Or
I-
yeah.
Oh,
Then you
no,
can-
you're right.
So,
Thank you.
Can I use this? I have it under here. Sorry.
Yeah.
We never actually finished it last.
Y'all just keep working on it.
Yeah. So. Everybody. Cool. We good?
Yep.
Where's the agenda?
Wait, what?
What's the
The
same
agenda is, it's shared. It's called Spring
I've got it.
2015 Agenda.
I can read it if you want.
Yeah, no, I can't. I haven't gotten it yet. If you have
I
it.
don't.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ariana. So announcements. Free Cow House with Krizlov. That's big. I know vaguely what that is. It's it's just basically sort of like coffee with Krizlov, just at Cow House essentially, right?
What day is that?
So
The 11th.
let me.
Are we required to be at that?
We should be there.
So this is
I
about,
think not I guess not all of us need to I think a good number of us should be there. Yeah.
So this isn't a student senate thing, but the president's office is going to get free ice cream for every student that wants it. And this is going to be on Wednesday the 11th from 7:30 to 9:30. It would be cool if we all came, so you could take like a picture or something and just tell your friends. So
Pretty sure I have to crew that day.
That's fine. I mean, it's not like vital. But I'm just saying that to everyone.
You also wouldn't have to be there the whole time.
Yeah.
None of us.
What time was that?
7:30 to 9:30.
Also, I don't know what's up with our listserv, but I saw, because I own the listservs, and like four messages that people tried to send bounce back. So
You said you were going to go to CIT.
yeah, tomorrow. So if everything, if people were ignoring what you were saying, that's why. It's not because we don't like you. Or maybe because we don't like you. More than likely.
Literally looks straight at me.
Okay. So do you guys think it's worth it making posters for this?
Yeah.
Maybe like paper posters, not like a full album.
What day is it?
Wednesday.
Aren't there posters going around, or have I just been delusional?
It's been on the TV
Okay.
advertisement board.
What are we making posters for?
Coffee with
Coffee with
Krizlov.
Krizlov. Oh,
At Cow House.
Sorry.
Ice cream with them.
ice cream with Krizlov.
Cow House with Krizlov.
But this is not a Senate event?
No.
No.
So
I thought we co-sponsored it.
not, well, yeah, and that we're telling people, but it's not like a Senate event, does that make sense?
But in the like if it's
If it's
Coffee with
sponsored, then
Krizlov is a Senate event, how is this any different?
Well, Coffee with Krizlov isn't like really a Senate event, we just do the communications for it.
I thought we were.
You guys want, well, how do we define like Senate event?
well, the one thing is if we do technically sponsor it, then we are obligated to show up, or else we get pointed, right?
I mean,
Okay,
it's
sure.
free ice
So,
Like that's the.
What the fuck? If it's a Senate event, you get paid to be there. No, I'm sorry.
You shouldn't be sorry.
Should we?
I'm definitely not.
Don't be.
So do y'all want to make it a Senate event? If you can't be there, just let Corey know when we find.
Yeah, it's cool. I can't be there.
I'll be there.
Yeah, you know.
I'm pointing you anyway for not liking ice cream.
Yes.
Wait. I said my favorite ice cream was from Cow House.
You think
I'm pointing you.
Sorbet.
It's not actually ice cream though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I'm not gonna disagree. It's delicious, but like, it's not ice cream.
I challenge the deliciousness.
Oh. Really? Have you ever had it? It's so good.
Seriously, there's nothing inside.
It's just out of curiosity, why are they having it at a Cow House?
To
Like,
keep it in business.
yeah, no, that's what comes to mind. Like,
No,
is this
really.
like a
No,
thing
it's
that's
real.
there?
They're going.
No, because Cow House is like gonna go.
Wow.
Okay, well that's
Nice.
one way to put
Yes.
it.
It's nice on the record.
It's because they're mad at the college, so there's
On the
no parking, so Mark's trying to repair.
So outside business,
Nick Olson's gonna come soon.
Oh yeah.
okay, cool.
Blast from the past.
Office hours.
Totally music guy.
I guess office hour reports.
Yeah.
I helped organize the weekend of direct action. So like my office hours this week were kind of sporadic, but I definitely helped them. Like it was more like an office, like half an hour, not really an hour, but do we all just like
No.
talk about office
No,
hours?
it's only if you had like something.
If something happened.
All right, yeah. So yeah, I didn't complete my office hour, but that's like kind of my thing. Working group reports.
Does anyone else have an office hour thing?
Nothing specific.
Oh,
Unless you want to talk about trad youth.
Yes. Oh god, Dad.
Great trad youth.
Oh, do you not have office hours yet?
Well, I have them, but they're,
Some
well,
was
I have
telling
them
me
for
gas
myself,
and
but they're not on the
fascist groups,
website,
yeah.
and I'm wondering how.
I guess you should talk to Rachel about that.
Oberlin, but-
My office hours aren't on the website yet.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know.
When are they?
They're Thursdays from 2 to 3.
Thursdays from 2 to 3? Cool. Yeah, I can put them on
Where?
right now, actually.
In
In Azarias.
Yeah.
Cool.
Are you
want me to
Wilson?
email you?
Cool. So I guess we were gonna discuss outside business and that you were here, but now you're here, so I guess you get to discuss that stuff.
Excellent. Sorry I'm a little late.
No, no problem. No.
The dining halls, I don't know how many of you got to eat dinner, but we're crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. So, should I begin?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm bringing a speaker named Sean Stroop to campus.
Who?
People who were here last semester know about it. People who are new or know me a little bit. Who knows? I'm bringing Sean Stroop to campus. And he's a leader in the HIV queer activist world. He's the founder of Pause Magazine, and he was the head fundraiser for the AIDS Coalition to Unleash Power, which basically called the US government to take actions to treat people who were living with HIV and dying of HIV and AIDS in the 80s and the 90s. He's an incredible figure. He's got a really interesting history. I am bringing him to campus. In fact, I already have the funding and the tickets booked and the hotel booked, and pretty much most of the things are taken care of, at least funding, and most of the legwork is done, basically. The last things that I really need some help with are publicity. I've gotten a little bit ahead of myself, I'm sorry. While he's on campus, we are going to do a lecture, basically about his book, which is called Body Counts. We're doing a panel on survivors of sexual assault, because he is one, I'm also one. And we are looking for a few more people to serve on the panel. The other person who's currently, who's also currently agreed is Professor Wendy Kozel, who is in the CAS department. She studies sexual assault with its relationship to the military. And so I figured that that would be pertinent to the conversation. We're looking specifically for 1 or 2 more people who would be willing to speak about their scholarship regarding sexual assault or their history as survivors in one way or another. And we're specifically looking for gender nonconforming people or people of color. Currently, the 3 of us are white and cisgendered. And so,
Sorry.
oh, it's me, Sean Strube, and Wendy Kozel.
Okay.
Okay.
And then the 3rd event that we're doing is a luncheon with the MRC, the Multicultural Resource Center, so that Sean can have a meet and greet with the students, any students who would like to RSVP, be involved in some degree. And the focus of that event will be more around queer activism. And anything else that people want to bring up, but kind of generally queer activism, which is a very big umbrella term. So these are happening on April 8th and 9th, or actually all of those events are happening on April 8th now, sorry. He's also going to be attending classes here and there as his schedule kind of, or as open classes and the schedule dictates. So both of the major events, the lecture and the panel, will be taking place in Dye Lecture Hall, and I've already reserved the spaces. So the real things that I'm looking for now are people to help with publicity, to send out emails. I'm trying to design a poster, but I'm not the most artistically inclined for that kind of work. I have some good material to design a poster with, like a scan of the book cover, body count, a portrait of Sean, like a headshot, and some reviews. I've also made a couple graphics on Adobe Illustrator that could be helpful. And so I've got some stuff to put together. I would just greatly appreciate some help with publicity, and I would also, and in return for Student Senate, I know you guys are constantly looking for ways to be seen as valid in the eyes of the student body.
Well, you weren't done,
sorry. Constantly looking for ways to connect with the student body. And so I figured that the perfect way for you guys to be involved in this would be to sponsor the panel. It's in line with several past referenda that called for a discussion about sexual assault, sexual offenses, and school policy on campus. I've also reached out to Meredith Raimondo and considered asking her to be on the panel, considering her work on policy. And I think she'd be willing to do that. I just kind of wanted to try to find someone from the different demographic backgrounds than we currently have. So I'm looking for publicity. I'm looking for 2 more people to serve on the panel, and potentially transportation, but I already have things kind of accounted for with that. So, anyone have any questions?
So yeah, so I guess on 2 ends. Thank you for coming to us. Your work is very much appreciated. I'll speak for everybody when saying that. So on one front, I guess I would like to help you, and in the you said you need another panel participant. I would like to kind of help you in that respect, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So we can talk later. What's up?
Yeah. Do you want to send me an email?
Yeah, I'll send you an email.
I was just wondering if you could put this under discussions so that we could discuss it.
Yeah. So.
Unless you want to discuss it now, but.
We should just discuss it now.
Okay.
What are we discussing?
He has a speaker.
Yeah.
No, I got that.
Whether or not we want to sponsor.
Sponsor, okay.
Co-sponsor, for what I understand, speaking entire weekend, correct?
the panel. There's 3 components, and the panel is one of them, and you want it to be sponsored by Student Senate.
I want you guys to be kind of the headlining organization, but I'm also going to mention you in each of the other 3 events as a thank you for helping put this together. The GSFS department is sponsoring. I'm saying that they're sponsoring the lecture, but of course I'm going to mention them at each and every event as well. And the MRC is sponsoring the luncheon.
I would personally be in favor of having Student Senate help you with that component of it. I think it'd be great to, I think that's, first of all, we're working on reproductive health, sexual health components in our working group right now. So I think, you know, tying that mental health and physical health component into it, and in regard to, well, didn't we rechange Title IX? Didn't we like reassemble Title IX in our sexual policy last year? Correct? I think we should maybe organize around that and make that kind of information accessible if possible. But before that, probably we should see if other senators want to jump on it.
Have you talked to the SOPAs at all?
I haven't talked to SOPAs. I've reached out to PRISM, the SIC, SURF, and I want to reach out to the HIV peer tutors, but I haven't yet. SOPAs is a great idea.
Do you know any of them?
I don't.
I can send you their information, or if you go to any co-op, their information is like on, like, is very plain sight, so you can just like go to any co-op and just kind of get their contact information.
Excellent. Okay.
Or just
So does sponsorship entail simply helping with communications?
Mostly helping with communications. To be honest, I'm I'm doing really well with the cash. I've got pretty much all the cash that I actually need. I have roughly $25,000 or $2,500. I'm sorry. Not $25,000. I have $2,500. $1,500 of that is for honorarium. $300 of that is for travel expenses, and the rest of the money is for lodging, transportation, and different food for the different events. So I guess one of the, as far as sponsorship of the panel goes, I have some money that I've allocated for that, about $150, I think. But if you would like more money, if we would like to spend more money on food for that,
do you need it?
It'd be greatly appreciated. Yeah.
Maybe like one way we could help is you mentioned that you'd like us to be involved in like publicizing the event. So I think maybe that's one place where we could help, where we could foot the cost for publicity and anything that might entail, in addition to whatever else we do. But yeah, I think that seems like a good idea. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I'd be willing to help or to work on like making the poster.
Okay.
I like posters.
I can get you the material that I have and kind of the very sloppy version of what I have currently.
Also, I don't know if you know, I know somebody who's like very good with Photoshop. I mean, not Photoshop, what's the group? Photoshop? What is it?
Adobe Illustrator. Adobe.
Something like that. You know, he like can make. He's really good at like making. Sorry, they're really good at making posters on on like computers and like kind of that type of stuff. So I could like also get you in contact with them as well.
That'd be really great. Thank you. Excellent.
So I guess we should have a broader discussion about what it means to sponsor specific events, because I mean, this typically doesn't happen. I think it's cool for us to put our name behind something, but let's also think about the scenario of, okay, we do this, and then let's say over the course of the next 2 months, 10 different organizations ask us to do the same thing, and all of them ask to give like some kind of money, right? So I don't think that's necessarily likely, but I think it's, to think about this decision, you have to think about it within the context of that possibility, right? So,
well, do we like know the actual likelihood of that? Like, I mean,
very low.
So
I would also, again, personally I think Ben's idea of just poster and publicity is like a great. I mean, that's something we can do, and it's not that likely that like we're gonna have all these different organizations bowing into their events, and you know, I think obviously you're right. Like the implications of attaching our name to something is something we should all discuss, but. I guess I don't really worry that much about people counting us for money.
Also, I think that the specific subject of what you what Nick wants to like, I guess forward is there's been a lot of conversations and a lot of like different events on campus like sponsored around that. So I think that it would help give student Senate a lot of legitimacy that it doesn't really have around a lot of like people on campus regarding like what to do about like sexualized violence and what to do about like sexual assault and like survivor support and things like that.
I think also to add on to Daryl's point, I think honestly, Mahmoud, like your sort of worst case scenario there isn't really that bad. Like, I don't think it would be all that horrible if organizations came to us more often to ask for our help in sort of amplifying their reach and their voices. I mean, it's sort of like our fundamental job as student senate. So I think I don't know that would necessarily be a bad thing. I mean, obviously, like if everyone's asking us to give them like a ton of money, we can't do that. But if people are just asking for help with stuff like this, I think that's great.
Also,
yes.
Depending on kind of how you want to look at this, I was on Student Senate last semester, and I began this conversation last semester. So if you need any justification as to why this cause in particular, I was a student senator, and like it was something that we, I know as I kind of conducted some of my discussions with it, the rest of Student Senate expressed that they wanted to wait until after the new Senate got in to kind of firmly attach their names to it and to continue the discussion, which I totally respect. Like I understand the need for kind of the continuing group to make decisions for themselves. So yeah, I understand.
So do we want to? Yeah.
Can I ask a clarifying question? Nick, you want help from us with publication as in posters and stuff, right?
Yep.
Okay, so we wouldn't be sending out a ask for more members of your panel, correct?
I don't think that Student Senate is the best source to do that. I've reached out to the MRC to ask them if they could delicately ask their network. I've also reached out to the Gender, Sexuality, and Feminist Studies Department to ask about it, as well as Wendy Kozel in the CAS department. One of the biggest issues is I've been trying to reach out because it's a difficult topic to discuss. I've been trying to reach out in as delicate of a way as I can. And it hasn't produced anyone yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't suggest Senate sending out an ask.
But you're not worried about having this panel if you're unable to find anyone else, right?
Right. We're definitely having this panel. If it's just the three of us. Frankly, I also know former Dean Lori Morgan Flood would be willing to serve on the panel. The biggest issue is she works far away now, and she would have to travel here, and that might push back the panel to 5 o'clock rather than 4:30, which isn't a big deal. It just then conflicts directly with dinner time, essentially. So that, yeah. So,
So ask questions.
I'm cool with us sponsoring this. If people don't have major objections, let's what to do and move forward.
And just for like specifics moving forward, it's not like we're basically gonna like discuss everything we sponsor going forward, like every like set of posters we pay for and stuff.
Yeah, I mean this never happens, so I would assume that if this is the process we do right now, then that's what we do.
Yeah. Okay.
But also, you should come to student engagement as we get closer to the event, and we can figure out some outreach stuff.
Yeah.
So you can probably let in.
Monday at 7.
Okay.
And the first and third Monday of every month.
So whichever one makes the most sense from your opinion, person eyes or eyes.
You also know us, you can come to our office hours and stuff.
Monday. Sorry, I'm taking notes.
But in the meantime, proposal to sponsor this event. General feelings and voting? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Who's the head? Who's the point or the chairperson on student engagement?
Wow.
Really enthusiastic. But also Ty. Ty and I are co-chairs, so feel free to talk to him too. He might not even sigh.
All right. Great. Cool. Is there any other questions that I can answer at this time? Also, my email is nolson, O-L-S-O-N, @oberlin.edu. Olson. Anyways, I don't know if that was weird. So anyone, feel free to reach out to me and send me a message.
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Is your email, like, could you, like, could I just give you a piece of paper and like, write it down and put it on the card?
Or do you want to just throw it on the agenda so that we're all sure to do it? Faster way of doing it.
Oh, piece of paper. Sorry, I was going to ask for your email.
Oh, sure, I'll get you this.
Don't worry about the piece of paper and just adding it to the.
Yeah.
Sharing last week.
I was being a little like 20th century with it.
Oh, one, right?
Yeah.
I
One
thought you
group.
search engine.
I think it's fine.
Like your keyboard.
Yeah, I definitely.
No, I got that too.
Is that
It's really fast.
First language is Russian.
Is it weird that I knew that already?
Yeah, I've known you for like 3 years.
right on, man. So we kind of went through office hour reports. If anybody has anything they want to say about their office hours, totally.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Thank you all. I look forward to
Go ahead.
working with you guys.
Decisions.
Yeah.
Oh, just
Bye.
Bye, Nick. I guess I have something for office hours reports, which is just that I met with Molly. We discussed bylaws. We're going to meet Monday at 7 in Azariah's, so probably alternating weeks from
So the second
student
and fourth
engagement.
week.
Yeah.
Monday at 8.
Monday at 8.
Not
So
at
you guys
7.
will be meeting
Monday, what?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah. Tomorrow?
tomorrow,
At 7.
8.
At 8.
8.
I was,
8 and that's right.
yeah,
Tomorrow.
alternating from student engagement.
Next is working group reports. So I haven't actually. This last week I've been so busy with so many things. I actually haven't been able to like really do a lot of like working group type stuff. Really, besides like I went to like my mental like health working group with Jeremy, and that was like really fruitful. I'm gonna be revising the about page and some other things on the mental health website. If anybody else has anything about working group stuff they'd like to share, the floor is open.
I can take over point for transparency working group. You don't have time.
We should meet this week.
Yeah.
Senate SFC working group met for the first time on Saturday, and it was cool. And we came up like to, I guess, allow for more, I guess, what's the word? I don't know, just so like people in the Senate know what's going on in SFC, like possibly, like maybe under announcements or something, I could say just like what happened, give like a quick recap of what happened in the last week. In SFC.
Also, SFC told me to remind all of you that you have to go to an ad hoc. Either, well, if you didn't go today, you're all going next week, which means we're all going next week. I'll have
When are they?
see you there.
2:45.
Since when?
On Sunday?
We're required to go to an ad hoc. We're also required to go to a policy meeting. These are required by our bylaws, so you will be there.
Where's the ad hoc on Sunday?
3:15 from 1 to 5.
These would know.
1 to 5.
Although you don't
You
necessarily
should send everyone an email.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't
You don't
stay
have to
the
be
whole
there
time,
the
even if
entire
you have to.
time.
They were talking half hour.
Half hour?
For ad hoc?
No, they're us staying.
And it's
We-
Yeah, Wednesdays at
the whole
7
half
are
hour
the
will take
policy.
them 6 hours, but
Policy.
it's 20 minutes
Policies.
a semester.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, no one
they are
took the day off.
so
Policy meetings
so
are
interesting.
Wednesday nights, yeah.
What?
The last one?
Right
Um,
before split.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good.
That's just
and
because they want to close out as soon as possible, so they can just bring budgeting.
we talked about the idea of doing maybe an SFC Senate
There's a
retreat
lot of-
together at some point, separate from ours. That's something we're playing around with. I don't know if
That's what your name, right?
and JLI, yeah. Yeah, so
Yeah. Also, treasurer training.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone on Senate has to be treasurer trained. They want
You have
to.
to do it every semester.
I did it this semester.
okay, you're done.
Well, good for
Yeah,
you.
we're
You
gonna.
get us more.
I'm gonna schedule one with.
They had a big
Because-
event early
wait,
this semester. in
We're gonna
106.
do a Senate one at 2:30 with Lindsay on.
Well, we have to decide. Sometime this week, Monday to Thursday at 12:15 is when they're available to do it.
But Lindsay's also willing to do a Senate one, wasn't she?
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, she was.
that.
She apparently prefers it.
Yeah,
then,
if
like,
we all
can,
if we all come at once.
set-
It's a lot faster.
So if
So
after this meeting, I'll send her an email, or someone will send her an email. We'll try
Yeah.
to pick a day that works for most of us. 12:15.
you're done.
Monday to
Don't worry,
Thursday.
you don't have to worry.
Okay.
And that's only if you need treasurer training. If
Mhm.
you've been previously treasurer trained this semester, not last semester, this semester. So
We also have to all be MRC trained, so I mean, I'm thinking about asking them to just come before Senate, maybe do it 5 to 7, and then we'll just go from.
I think I could train us.
Could you really?
What does an MRC training like consist of and look like? That's just a general question.
It's like,
We never did it.
are we,
Yeah, we do.
which training are we doing?
Privilege and oppression and transaction.
Okay, so like essentially there's like a PowerPoint and you sit and you talk about it, you answer some questions.
How long does it take?
Like an hour.
Could we do it before Senate? Like if everyone came at 6 next plenary, just
I
yeah. knock
haven't
it
been like officially trained yet, so I think I need to get certified, but I've like gone through training. We just haven't been like.
Also, like, I mean,
We can have them later.
like privilege, oppression, and like allyship are like very like important things that like just people just need. So I think that like it would be great to like go before Senate, but just like it would be great if we do that like during Senate as well. I mean like I know that we all have like a lot of like stuff that we're doing like as student senators, but like the type of stuff that we would be learning here is like very like fruitful.
No, I just don't want to take away from plenary. That's why
Yeah.
I'm saying do it before. That way we can go straight to plenary without like
we're all
extending
obliged to
plenary.
go, so
Yeah.
we all have to be there.
Well, y'all have to be there anyway. It's just like instead of extending it out into like 10 o'clock, I'm just bumping it back to 6. Also, in terms of working groups, Megan and I met for 2 hours today to do our 2 working groups together, which are South
Res Ed
Campus and Res Ed.
Which one do you want to take?
You take South. I'll take North.
Okay.
Oh,
You want to go first?
No, go.
Okay, cool. Hi, everyone. Hello again. So the South Campus Working Group met today, like Anjali just said. Some things we talked about was our name, our goals, the new Student Support Initiative Fund, and things to do. So working group name, we talked about how it's rooted in the movements and working groups on South Campus that arose after the incidents surrounding March 4th specifically. I know last semester we entertained changing the name to something like Accessibility Working Group or Visibility Working Group. But as long as we can kind of remember where that name came from, we're cool with changing it. And something that we really were entertaining was the Student Support Working Group as a name. And that will dovetail into like what our goals are. So some of our goals continue the commitment to students of color, low income and first generation students, and students less favored by the institution, started by the South Campus Working Group in 2013. Strategize implementation and accessibility for the Student Support Initiatives Fund. Eric, I would love if you could talk about that at some point. Create a collaborative, the Student Initiative Support, whatever the name, Student Support Initiative Fund. Create a collaborative organizing mechanism for student activism. That's something we talked about a lot last semester because there was so many demonstrations happening. We're wondering what role Senate has in that, and we figured this working group was a good place to brainstorm. And then in terms of a short-term goal, we want to organize a forum to talk with the student body about goals for this particular working group and the Student Support Initiative Fund. So yeah, ¿qué más hay? Anjali, am I missing anything in particular?
No.
Do you all know about the student, the fund? The Student Support Initiatives Fund?
Like, vaguely.
Vaguely, we got an email about it.
What if the school doesn't know? Because it was like in that one email, like in the one bulletin. It was
Yeah,
like
I think we need to advertise that, but I would love.
Sure. Megan is referring to a new fund that Clyde McGregor, who's chair of the board, has given a gift of $500,000 to sort of fund the fund up front. And then it's my understanding that at least one other trustee has made a donation to the fund as well. And it's going to, over time, be distributed in a way that supports different resources on campus that have been identified through conversations with students, but also administrators, and thinking about what are some of the resources that, if you're going to spend money that's not sort of on some level a sustainable sort of ongoing amount of money, right? Like it's not an endowed fund. Where would you get the best sort of return on the money, so to speak? So, for example, some of the money, at least initially, has been identified to go to the emergency book fund, because that's something that Senate had sort of pushed hard last semester as a major issue. And then some of the money is going to go to the emergency medical fund. Again, something that I think Senate has raised as an issue in the past. And one of the hopes is that as that fund yields more money, that there will be more support, for example, for helping to cover costs for students who have to go and, let's say, see a specialist in Cleveland, either on a one-time or a recurring basis. So that's just, an example.
So I guess I imagine this working group kind of serving to be that constant communication about the needs of students. That kind of is the impetus behind this. So yeah, check. Anyone have any questions? Also, I think a good meeting time would be every other week at 5 p.m. on Sunday.
6 p.m.
6 p.m. on Sunday, thank you. So it's right before plenary, so.
Specifically, so you're saying that a good time for the what's presently called the South Campus Working Group is when?
6 p.m.
We're gonna do the first and third month, the first and third Sunday of every month, and then Res Ed is gonna be the second and fourth Sunday of every month.
Yeah.
Same time?
Same time.
Same time, because it's just us.
Yeah.
So.
I like the name Student Support.
Yeah,
So everyone.
everyone's on this too.
Okay.
And anyone else who wants to join should.
Yeah.
Where do you guys meet?
Day Cafe.
Day Cafe. Well,
No, go.
Will. And then Res Ed will be the week after.
Molly, what did you say?
That's why I like the name that Megan proposed.
If you don't want to.
Anyway, the other one that we had was the Res Ed working group, where we're thinking some of the short-term goals we've had are to see if we can get RAs, privilege and oppression training from the MRC as well, to, because they work with students and it's important to be trained. We talked about the pre-spring break program. I don't know how many of you guys remember when Sarah talked about how Zeke did a big barbecue and then they had leftovers, and so kids over break could eat those leftovers, but it was still a party for everyone. The leftovers happened to be an enjoyable experience for the people left. So we're thinking that we're going to reach out to RAs and see if we can push that harder to get more stocks in fridges for meals that aren't covered by the churches. We're thinking about getting better pro-staff support because there were some incidents surrounding the DASCM problems about 2-3 weeks ago.
There was a string of depressive and suicidal students calling upon RAs for support there. Yeah, there was just a.
And there
kind of
wasn't
like an uptick
pro
of that.
staff support for these RAs, so they were sort of hung out to dry.
Yeah, or at the very least adequate. Sorry to keep interrupting.
No, please. We were both there. There are a couple other things that we're going to work on a little more and then bring to you hopefully in a few weeks, but that's sort of the big chunk of what we talked about. If anyone has any questions or ideas of what we should do or add, if anyone wants to join us.
Please do.
We're really cool.
Yeah.
Which is cooler?
Oh gosh.
You should just come to all of our meetings. I mean, it's Megan and me. How could this get like a more exciting experience for you? So.
Well, before we get off the
Yes.
what am I forgetting the name? The gift.
The support.
Yeah, the support.
Yeah.
This is
Thing
not
with
exactly the
fancy
same thing. That's kind of similar in terms of increased services. So I think you know something.
Yeah, so to the interest of transparency that was brought up before, this is the board meeting where the board will approve the budget, the operating budget for the coming year. And when it has come to issues of the student health fee, and I think Mahmoud may be the only person who's still here from the Senate a couple of years ago where the health fee was instituted and there was an opportunity to talk about where that money would go and how that would operate. And in the end, for those of you who weren't there, Senate and the review both ultimately end up endorsing the fee at the time. And so this is all to say that I think it's important for me to sort of say this now before this weekend and then explain sort of again how the health fee works and where the money goes and what the change is going to be and why. So the health fee is going to go up in this upcoming operating budget. I mentioned this at lunch last week with your subgroup on student health.
I just have a quick question about the budget.
Sure.
Is it every 2 years that it's reconfirmed, or it's every year?
No, the budget is voted on by the board every year.
Okay. So
Because it's the upcoming year's operating budget. Now, there'll be projections multiple years out, but the actual what gets approved happens on a yearly basis. So just for background of history, and I'll be very, very short, the college instituted a $200 health fee 2 years ago, and at the time, it worked as follows. One was that the health fee is accounted for and covered for high need and moderate need students in terms of financial aid, right? So it's accounted for in terms of the cost and the aid packages that students receive. So essentially half the fee goes right back into financial aid to make sure that students with financial need aren't gouged by a fee, right? The other important thing at the time was the commitment that a significant amount of the revenue would go into supporting new services for students. So a lot of the new sort of stuff that the Counseling Center and some other offices on campus have been able to do is because the money in the fee is going to support direct support services for students. So again, sort of thinking about the financial aid component to protect students who have financial need, and then making sure that money is going into support services for students, right? The other thing that was done was that the fee was set at a level much lower than peer institutions. So if you compare the $200 that was established 2 years ago, it didn't go up last year, it stayed the same. That's much lower than our peer institutions. And if you can't find a health fee among the list of charges for other schools, schools are often doing, and I think I explained this before, I think, and on Tuesday when we had lunch, which is they're either embedding it in the activity fee, which didn't seem appropriate at the time here, or they're embedding it in the health insurance plan premium, right? So, the school gets the premium plan for $1,500 and charges students $1,700, right? And takes the fee out. And the problem with that then is at those schools, the students who buy into the student plan are subsidizing essentially services for everyone else. And at Oberlin, at least the way we have it set up, it tends to be students with greater financial need who buy into the student plan, and it just seemed really crappy to sort of set it up that way, right? And not particularly transparent, right? And so we went with the fee at $200. it is likely to go up to 230, and I'll explain where the money is going. All of the money from the increase is going to go to increase access to psychiatric and psychiatry services by 50%. So next year, starting in the fall, the amount of appointment time, access to a psychiatrist, there will be 2 different psychiatrists, so it also opens up a little bit of choice in terms of who you see. So greater accessibility both in terms of choice and in terms of appointment time. So this has been an area, I think, of increased concern for students over the last few years. It was interesting, one of the things I shared on Tuesday is that as recent as 2005, 2006, the Counseling Center offered no access to psychiatric services. Students were kind of on their own to go to either something in the local area or in Cleveland. This will essentially result in a 50% increase over what we currently have. So I think people are loath to sort of consider an increase in a fee, but I think what hopefully we can take away from this is that all of the increase is going back into services for students, and it's going to go into an area that students themselves have really identified as a stressor point in terms of access to resources. And so, because it's coming up this weekend, I wanted to make sure that I was being sort of proactive in talking with you all, and I'd be happy to follow up with questions later, but I didn't want that as sort of a change in terms of, you know, charges and fees to come as a surprise, and to have students sort of either wonder if the deal had shifted a little from what had been described a couple of years ago in terms of priorities, and also to know where the money was going.
Yeah, I have 2 questions.
Sure.
I didn't understand, first of all, what you meant when you were talking about how it's distributed between high need versus moderate need versus very low need, just in terms of like how this will affect people on financial aid. I guess I don't understand. And my second question is,
Sure.
To what extent has this really been presented to any student, faculty, anyone? I guess this increase in the fee.
Yeah. So let me take the first question first. Essentially what I was trying to articulate was that it would support the financial aid packages of not just students with high need.
Oh.
Right? I think sometimes we rightly emphasize the high need category and aren't paying attention to the stressors that are created for students who fit somewhere on the aid curve, but not perhaps in the highest need sort of category. And so to reflect the idea that this is going to, you know, I think essentially support students in relationship to financial aid across a much larger part of the aid curve, not just sort of on the one end. So that's kind of what I was trying to get at.
Cool.
And then the second part of the question is that there has been a lot of discussion about access to psychiatric care, and certainly that's something that students have I think pushed on hard in the last few years, and I think rightly so. And I think that there has been a strong desire on the part of those of us who are trying to come up with a creative way to create more access to resources in a short period of time, not 5 years from now, where are we going to be with this, and not wanting to be in the same place. The ability to say, okay, here's an opportunity to increase access and choice in a significant way. And then the question is, how do we pay for it? Where does the money come from? And ultimately, the health fee, because it's been established as a sort of precedent to help support resources for students, was the option that was gone.
Thank you.
If nobody else has working group stuff, I can do my long list, which I will continue to try to shorten. Okay, so for those of you who were wondering, Student Health Working Group is meeting weekly at right now 10 p.m. in Azariahs or Mud. And so if you want any of the specific information, just let me know and I'll get you on all the emails and stuff.
You can also, if you're interested, come to our meetings. They're Thursday at 10. So yeah, if you're interested, totally stop by.
Yeah,
give us your
definitely.
thoughts.
And so at this last meeting, I don't know how much Sarah told you last semester about the feedback forms we were working on. We've basically had a draft of a feedback form for the counseling center that we've worked on with John Harshbarger. And so we're hoping to have that finalized up, have John screen it and stuff by our next meeting, and the next plenary will come. And the goal is that Student Senate would send this out monthly. It can't be sent out by the counseling center to follow up on appointments because it's an issue of confidentiality. So we've had that discussion. So that's where we're at. We're also hoping to do one for student health, potentially Res Ed, OSCA, the Title IX office, and just basically letting all of these different resources on campus get feedback to see where they can improve, because that's one of the things that we've heard from them in the past, is that they want to improve but they don't know how to without breaking confidentiality. Cold care kits, we actually got enough people to go help assemble cold care kits that they ran out of the actual supplies, so they had to order those, and we'll be doing that in the future. Granted, as we get out of cold season, it's not as pressing. So Mahmoud is going to continue to work on his physical wellness initiative. I know Tom Julian is doing a comprehensive evaluation of athletics, physical wellness, and athletics culture. Is there anything else you want me to add on that? Or?
I mean, it's like I don't want to make it sound like athletics. It's just one of getting people to be physically active. Just like can manifest itself in athletics, but just I feel like that term has a stigma to it.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, that's why I'm like purposefully don't want it to be like that. Just,
Okay.
You need someone like me.
So we have a team.
Yeah, I'm not athletic, but I definitely play with that.
Yeah, you can
I play sports.
but not play baseball.
So I mean, we should. I'd say that if you play baseball, you're actually more active.
It's like the least active
Yeah, you
sport
literally
of all
would
time.
stand.
Yeah, you can eat
Most
food and use drugs while playing. You should. Yeah, no, I'd be interested if we can. Can I talk about that for a second?
Sure.
Yeah. So I was thinking when we talked about this in the group, though, if we could do like a big group event. So something that our class does a lot is have a dodgeball tournament, and that gets a lot of people like in the gym to use it in a way that's different than they're used to doing. So I was thinking if we had like a kickball game, like basketball game, Deb said the idea like do like a dance marathon. For those that are capable of doing so. So what do you guys think would get people out? I mean, it's gonna be nice soon, presumably. I hope. We can push the boundaries if possible. So what do you think?
Will we get people outside, or will people get people?
Are you saying this should be a Senate event?
Yeah, if we did like 2 weeks from now, or like the week after spring break, we did like a kickball game. Or maybe if we did like students versus administrators.
You know that day?
Ooh,
Do you guys know that day in the spring where it's just like there's like a big bouncy thing in Wilder? And, like,
Yes.
Wait, they have a moon bounce?
Yes.
Yeah. And like people.
That's usually the big block party that's sponsored by all the VAs.
Yeah, we could like whatever we could like ask them whatever they do to get the turnout that they get, and sort of like use that money.
They have a bouncy house.
Yeah,
We should.
That's how they do it.
I mean, but like we're like in our 20s, they don't really do
Get a
bouncy
bouncy
houses anymore.
What?
Yes.
You'd be surprised.
I love them.
Especially because we're not.
I think a lot of it's the free food though. I think.
Yeah.
That event
It's also the location. It's happening on Wilder Bowl. A lot of people just pass by and see it and go. That's me. You just can walk up and get cotton candy or whatever. So it's like,
Well, the focus is to make like a health focus.
yeah. Well, maybe carrot. Yeah.
Get
I
some
really
organic
think a lot of people
vegetables.
would come to the dance-a-thon, because the school really likes dancing.
Yeah.
The lip
Like,
syncing
SCO gets
competition.
so much attention.
Ooh.
That's why does every athlete team like have a fundraiser at the SCO, because people will come.
Yeah.
Well, I think there are a number of others that implicate themselves in this. Okay, well, I mean, I guess maybe like explaining motivation would help. So I know a lot of people that say they don't like going to the gym because like there are a lot of large, intimidating men, which like I totally get.
That's why I don't try to be a man.
Yeah,
I'm scared.
I mean, they're not. No, but like,
I'm working to normalize it.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, it's a problem if we have people that don't feel like they can go because of that. And so I think to an extent, the South Campus gym helps, but that's also like kind of hard for people, particularly now it's as well. So I mean, there were discussions about having a women's only hour at the gym, which unfortunately I think
that was shot down.
I think that was
By
shot
who?
down. Natalie.
I don't know this. They basically said that the argument was because there are people who pay for membership from the outside community that wouldn't really be a feasible.
What about the rock wall? They do women's only now at the rock wall.
I don't
They've
know.
done things like chunky dunk before, and like other like empowering. It's when like it's like a body positive event at the pool. Things like, you know.
But that's not like the entire gym.
Yes.
Was
it's
that
not,
is that
but
like
I'm
the
just
difference
thinking,
then?
Yeah.
We were just.
But in theory, wouldn't that inconvenience people who have memberships?
Well, but
Yeah.
the pool and the rock wall, they like reserve that for people all the time. So it's like I guess they have a problem with closing up the entire gym.
Or you could just like explain to like these members that hey, like people are intimidated. Like,
Is it supposed
hey,
to be a day or just a set?
No, I mean, I heard it was like an hour.
Hours.
Like an hour.
Wow.
For one day.
Yeah.
We'll continue to push for
Could
it.
you reserve like the weight room or something? Like because that seems to be a
But then
the
becomes the
problem
issue
area, honestly.
about like people who don't know how to use the weight room.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like
Which is why that event.
yeah.
People are trying to put together
Yeah,
classes. and things
That's what I was
for
gonna
that.
say.
I'm
Are
thinking
there like
our
classes
classes.
like
Yeah,
for
there
people
is
who
one.
don't understand how to like do it?
But it's, like they need to like advertise those classes better.
Do y'all know how like whenever there's a big party like Super Sex Night or Drag Ball, how Res Ed offers an alternative event every single semester at the gym where it's like free massages and all sorts of fun stuff. I wonder if you can get in touch. I'm not saying we need free massages. I'm just saying. I mean, who doesn't? But I'm just saying that, like, we could do something akin to that. We could do something akin to that. Like rent it out late night for a few hours, yeah, and have like a dodgeball game.
I have like different games and different activities too.
Yes. Foursquare.
Do you think if we asked group administrators to play dodgeball, they would agree?
Please.
Mark
played. He played.
Yeah, can I tell you, they have a summer tournament,
I was
and,
on his team.
and the college beats Kendall every year. They are highly competitive at Kendall. I'm just saying. Last year, the college started to take it easy on them, and some, older woman at Kendall started yelling at people that they shouldn't be patronizing them. So Kendall's very, very competitive.
Yes, agency.
So yeah, I think this is all to say that I think administrators have played dodgeball in the past and probably would if you asked.
Okay.
I'm so
Yeah.
good.
Remember what I suggested first meeting?
How many would we need to play against?
We do teams of like 8, and we could make like a sign up.
Oh no, it wasn't dodgeball, it was kickball. Sorry.
This is a big difference.
This is kind of different.
Yeah.
One significantly more violent.
Good thing.
They don't have the lateral mobility.
That makes it very different.
Yeah, it was kickball, I'm sorry.
What do y'all feel about kickball?
Kickball's fun.
Yeah.
Kickball's good. Okay.
Team dodgeball.
All right.
Murder ball.
Well, how many people? Well, it's 9. Yeah, 9. So you could do sign up sheet, 9 groups of 9
For kickball?
for kickball. How do y'all feel about week after spring break?
I'm down.
Okay.
2 weeks after
2 weeks
spring
after.
break, I think we need like ample time to plan and get the new stuff and stuff.
Also,
It'll be warm by then.
Yeah.
And that's
Ooh,
something
yeah.
we could do inside or outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 weeks after spring break is April 14th.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Start to put together.
Going back to gym hours, while we didn't make a lot of headway at Phillips, there was a good discussion about South Gym having women and trans hours, and as part of that discussion, we're also figuring out how we can get more equipment in the South Gym than just aerobics off piece.
Oh, yeah, I talked to DMS about that, and the main thing about getting dumbbells was the idea of safety. Because if someone's is bench pressing dumbbells at 3 a.m. in the morning,
Yeah.
and they're dropping on their head, I mean, no one's gonna be there probably.
Yeah.
So
That's so sad.
Bench pressing dumbbells or bench pressing barbells? Because why? Because like if you're bench pressing
I mean, you like, drop it and it hit the.
who would like? Because it just.
That's happening.
You know that here.
Really?
You drop
I mean,
it.
like it's happening with barbells. I've been benching with barbells.
I mean-
It's kind of like.
I mean,
What-
It's unlikely, but
it's unlikely, but it can happen.
One of the issues with the gym is that people don't know how to use the equipment, and so if they go to South for like greater privacy or something, and then don't know how to use the equipment, stuff like that can
It's a
happen.
liability issue.
Yeah.
Why can you not get a bench press in South, but we have a bench press in Con gym, and there isn't like anyone
That's a
there
really good
at
question.
all?
There's a gym in Con.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like so isolated. It's literally a dark room where there are no people.
They have like
Yeah.
They just never on.
Yeah.
But they have free weights.
They have free
in the
weights,
gym.
and they have a bench press. Yeah.
I mean, I guess my best suggestion to like the not knowing how to use the equipment is like investing in like a machine. Like there are like a lot of like machine type of like things that kind of like have the directions like on them, and they kind of show you how to like use it. I mean, that could be like a way around that.
Does the Con gym have card swipe access to get specifically into the gym?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the thing. That doesn't exist in South, and
So
then
it's just
people
open.
can just openly take the stuff is another concern. So it's like it could be anyone in South taking, as opposed to there you have access to the or like
Put card swipes on the gym and stuff.
they
There
could.
are on the outside, but like if you live in South, you can just go down the
Yeah.
stairs and through the back, and
Mhm.
that's right there. And then the thing about like people taking equipment, I feel like you could trust the community, and if not,
I agree.
you can like hunt them down at the end of the year. And
Could you just like put like a sign-in sheet somewhere or something like
But
that?
also, like, you can put a card, like in Con, there's a card swipe on the door to the gym. You could do that, like into
Like a camera.
It is a camera actually. I don't know if it works, but there is one.
Most people think it works.
Anyway, anything else on this?
I'm not done. I'm sorry. We keep getting sidetracked. I was trying
no
to
more
get.
sidetractions.
Okay, go.
Okay. All right. We had a great talk with Dean Estes, and one of the things that we talked about was potentially having a Senate-sponsored forum on what stresses students out. That's something we'll discuss in the future. Daryl was able to get some like pieces of paper up at this weekend of action, and so we got some information that way, and just some broad things about what students are thinking about in that regard. For the SIC, we're looking into getting a car for them. Right now they arrange rides to Planned Parenthood and sexual health clinics, but right now they organize amongst themselves, so their availability is dependent upon their schedules. So we're just looking at different ways we can do that without additional cost. Res Ed, which is something we've looked at more from like what was happening in Dascom and stuff. We want and we're talking to the Peer Support Center about there being training for RAs during their training before orientation week. We talked a little bit about amending the group interview process that was actually recently amended, so we're actually now going to focus on an exit survey just to understand why people leave the RA program. So we also have this draft website that's been going on for a while. This week is basically just finalizing and checking all the information, so that's been divided up. We're also looking at medical leave. This is something that was raised at a bunch of our office hours and conversations with students, most specifically going part-time at some point during the semester. Right now it's very difficult to do, and it's very difficult to do before your senior year. And then also we are brainstorming stuff that we want during orientation, specifically helping students transition to this stressful environment. Next week, before our meeting, we were actually hoping to have a brainstorming session at 9:30. Now there's this trustees thing, so we will possibly be rescheduling that. And then
I would suggest that like we possibly like, even though it's like not what we do usually, we could probably see if all like four or five of us could like meet on like Tuesday or Wednesday or something, and just like kind of hammer out like stuff
Yeah.
that we would want, like mental health stuff that we want to forward during this freshman orientation.
Hmm. So if you want to be part of that discussion, just let me know, and we'll include you in the emails. In addition, I'm heading up a group that is doing a lot of research into seasonal affective disorder on campus, looking at who it affects and if it is at all possible to evaluate the effectiveness of treatment on campus, such as like artificial UV lights and stuff. So that's just, we're in research phase right now, but we'll continue to report on that and hopefully have some kind of proposal by the end of the semester. So yeah, that is my brief summary.
Cool. Thank you.
Sorry, did I forget anything?
No, I just have a recommendation.
I love recommendations.
Can you just bring those UV lights to Mud Library? It'd be great.
Sure.
Like, seriously.
I don't know if we can just plug them in.
First of all, I've done legitimate research on this. It is legit. Like, it
Yeah,
really
oh,
is.
I believe it's
One time
legit.
someone tried to prescribe me one, I was like, that's crazy. Take that off there. Second, yeah, just put them in the library. I think it would be much better winter next winter.
Yeah, it's a question of, do we just like walk in and plug them in, and then is it going to be like, you know, passive aggressive battle of unplugging and replugging in the lights? So
I just think that if you sit in front of the light for 30 minutes, like,
yeah, but then it's a question of who pays for the light and stuff that we'd have to figure out. So it's just because obviously we don't want to pay. Basically, this came out of the Mental Health Alliance, which I'm a part of, and it's just a question of like, whose responsibility is this, especially if it's like, okay, we do it for a year and then the people in charge of it graduate or something, then what happens? So we want a ongoing process. Questions, comments, concerns?
Anyone else?
It is like a quick recap of what happened at the SFC last week.
Yeah.
Just like, it was just to like kind of keep you guys in the loop, just so you guys know what's going on. And so during ad hoc, we funded Buffy Trivia Night, Disco. That's
Buffy Trivia?
Buffy the Vampire?
No, not trivia, bingo.
Bingo.
Buffy the Vampire Bingo Night at Disco. And
good turnout.
And also, we funded Model UN. They got stuck in Boston for an extra day, so they needed money for it to be reimbursed, and we funded that. And also for a speaker, Dan Spalding, to come. Yeah. Oh, and also we talked about club sports policy and about the like spring budgeting policy. And for some reason, the bylaws say that they're supposed to get their budget before everyone else to know what they're working with, but that's not true. It says they allocated like 18% of the student activity fund, but that's not true. So we have to like revise that. And also we went over meal funding for just like the meal funding policy. It's 30 days for $30 per day, and it's like $10 for breakfast and lunch and kids eat together.
Wait, meal policy for what?
Just for like
speakers.
bringing
They
in
get
guests.
meals and things. But they're thinking about changing it because, like, if you stay for longer than a day, because, like, $30 is okay if you're here for, like, maybe 2 meals. But if you're here for, like, 2 or 3 days, like, it's hard to get dinner for $10. So they're trying to do 10, 10, 15.
Yeah.
So it would be 30 to 35 for all interested parties.
And
Be able to afford the high-priced options.
there was the review contacted the SFC about the thing they wanted to do was the people higher up wanted to take a pay cut so that they could increase the stipends for the lower lower paid people, the people lower in the review, because they felt like it was a matter of like they weren't getting paid enough, so they wouldn't work hard enough. It was like kind of a work ethic issue, but they're not allowed to do that legally. But they could technically like pay them out of pocket if they wanted to. But that was just something else that we were talking about, and that was it.
Thank you. Anyone want to?
I have a question about SFC working group or SFC meetings. Can we talk about who has to go to those meetings? Because Corey and I were saying that it seems it seems like something to discuss about whether all the official positions who have to go to who from Senate have to go to those meetings really should. I think Corey knows better than I do, but chartering liaison has to go. The two committee appointment liaison or whatever have to go. Treasurer.
And then like all the officers except liaison.
Secretary. It just seems like a lot of redundancy. That might not be necessary.
Yeah, it did, I don't know, there were a lot, it said like there's supposed to be about 11 people in this working group, and I don't know if people want to change the bylaws or anything, but it does seem like that's like a lot of people that are required to be there.
It's just to aid in like a type of it's like to aid transparency between us. The more of like us, the more of them that are there. It's just like the more of us that are in on the process.
Right.
I'm okay cutting a few.
Right, but half of Senate has to go.
Yeah. As somebody who went to the meeting, I don't think we need that many people to be there in order for there to be effective communication between Senate and the SFC. I think the problems we had on that front was there's basically no communication between Senate and SFC last year. But I don't think that means we respond by bringing half of Senate to a bi-weekly meeting. So like the committee coordinators, like that doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to me for them having to go. Chartering liaison actually does make
Chartering
sense.
liaison, I do agree.
Treasurer
probably makes sense.
I think actually the committee people should be at that meeting. I think especially as we near towards the end of the semester, when we're going to be doing appointments for BSFC, it makes a lot of sense.
Well, we can talk about it in bylaws tomorrow.
That's a good venue for this.
Chartering liaison doesn't have to be there then.
Yes.
I was told that I didn't have to.
Who wants to read the bylaws?
Should I read it? Should I read it out loud?
Yeah, no, if you got it.
Okay,
Pull it up.
So, SSC, that's me. Associate liaison. Treasurer of the Student Senate. Operations manager. Committee appointments coordinator. Committee elected student finance co-chair. Oh, so that's SFC co-chair. And then 3 SFC members. Then student treasurer and assistant treasurer.
Whose bylaws is that? Is that SFC's or ours?
I think that's ours.
That's Senate.
Okay.
I'm not even sure I go there.
I remember. Okay.
It should be.
It's not that many.
Yeah, that doesn't sound as bad as
Wait, is committee liaison on that?
And the people you named seemed like they should be there, so.
Okay, that's kind of funny. Probably should be on there.
And you could always change the bylaws, right?
Yeah, if we did, I think we should have that. But. So are we just going to agree that we're going to discuss this?
Yeah, talk about it.
We'll discuss.
Thing,
Okay.
And then bring it to us.
We'll discuss in working group, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A transparency, I want to say?
No,
No, bylaw
bylaw.
revision, sorry.
I guess I'll just quickly talk about my meetings with the Green Edge Fund. It's just basically there's like some publicity stuff that they want to get going. So I so this past week I sent everybody in Student Senate basically kind of what they wanted, and everybody kind of was okay with it, on board with it. So the Green Edge Fund is happy about that, and they're about to start the process of getting and reviewing grants for people, so they can so people's environmental endeavors can be funded by the Green Edge Fund. I'm also trying to so basically a person who I work with at Oberlin Community Service, Alan Mitchell, he was trying to get funding from the Green Edge Fund for sustainable green housing for people, and he got shot down kind of, and so I'm helping Alan kind of rewrite the proposal so he can get the money that he needs to get this housing complex built so people can have houses. Yeah, that's what those are my green things I did this week.
Great.
Yeah, committee reports.
I wasn't there, so if you want to.
There's not really, there's nothing new to report.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Oh, I'm still looking for the Student Life Committee. I don't know where they are, or if they exist.
We haven't been meeting. It really I think the next meeting will likely be in the next couple of weeks. It usually focuses on charters and student organizations.
Yes, because we got a vote on
All right. Decisions.
Kind of. It depends how we go about it. So everyone needs to get on general faculty committees. Last semester, we were a little too lax about it. We sort of let people pick on their own and email us about it, but most people didn't do it. So
Everybody
this
needs
semester,
to be on a what committee?
General faculty committee. So basically, this semester, what we're going to do is I'm just going to give a list of the open seats, and you guys are going to pick right now which committees you'd like to be on. So technically this is supposed to happen at the first plenary. It didn't happen at the second plenary because I wasn't here. But
Third time's a charm, dude.
yeah, it's happening now. So let's go to, let me just pull up the master document.
You want to make it a Google Doc and share it with us or something?
Yeah, I can. I'll share the master list. It's a little confusing, but.
Pam, can we get that to?
What?
Pam, you're on the secretary's office.
You haven't emailed someone else. Yeah, you did. Give me a second. I will.
I'll put money on that.
Okay, I'll take that.
Yeah.
How much money do you want to put on that, Montford?
It's on the record. It's on the record. No getting out of this.
That's like cool.
Yeah, you had me email Sandhya.
And then Pam responded to you.
Pam did not respond. Wait, so should I share this with the listserv or?
No, the listserv can't.
I'll just enter everyone's name.
Her name's actually Elizabeth.
I figured that out. It took me a little
Could
while.
probably get your email changed for CIC.
I usually use Elizabeth in like formal settings.
Okay.
Or maybe we could put Deborah in the middle so that people would. Or is it your middle?
Yeah, so Elizabeth D. Johnson.
Or
Ben?
Elizabeth Deborah Johnson so that
Just
people
forward
would
it.
search your name and it would come up. For the people.
Are you serious?
Because I trust you.
Great, okay.
CIT.
Ben, I have to run to a recital. Is there an open seat on the double degree committee?
Give me a second.
Are you leaving right now?
What?
Are you leaving right now?
Yeah, I'm playing.
Oh.
That's kind of fun.
Who's your son?
Jack Lasky and Josh Harlow.
What instrument?
What?
What instrument?
I play trombone.
What
They're both
Yeah,
piano.
so is there a spot open for like
Yeah.
environmental studies?
At 9.
Give me 1 second to send this email and then I'll check.
Good.
So that's sent to everybody. So let me just go through the list of which committees have open seats right now. So we've got Academic Calendar Committee has 2 open seats, as far as we know. Admissions and Financial Aid has 2 available seats.
There's 2 seats.
Yeah. The Advising Committee has 2 open seats, but we don't really know. We haven't really been in contact with anyone for that committee for a while, so. Let's see.
That committee's going to be more important moving forward.
We need to find out who the chair of that committee is. The last known chair for us is Catherine Stewart.
I would contact Joyce Badia.
Sorry, what was that name?
Joyce Babiak, B-A-B-Y-A-K.
Let's see, what else do we have? The Assessment Committee, Community-Based Learning Committee.
Is that like Expo?
I'm not sure. Also, if you guys are on a computer right now, you can go to, I believe it's how.oberlin.edu.
One of our numerous websites.
Yeah. And if you go, if you find general faculty.
So how about everybody who has like access, Jeremy, you can do that after your recital. Good luck, by the way.
I think I've been to this website before. So.
Yeah, I guess you guys can all just like sign up for
Yeah.
How do
stuff you want to
you
do.
sign up?
You tell us what you want, and then we vote to put you on it.
Yeah.
Where are we going on once we go to the website?
How.Oberlin.
Yeah.
Should probably I'll just write all these down.
Do you want it to be moved to like a?
I'll just write on one of these pieces of paper.
Oh.
Yes. Oh wait, do we have pens? No.
Private talk.
No one knows about this.
Is it okay if I erase some of this?
Well, we're not looking at it, so I
No,
guess.
I mean, it's not.
Oh, why don't you just throw it on the table?
You can.
We don't have any pens.
I have a pen.
Like a big pen?
Like
I
a
have
marker?
Here, let me give you a shovel.
Do you have a Sharpie?
Mark.
Yeah. So if you guys are on the
Who's on a committee right now? Raise your hand.
I'll take another one.
Yeah, initiative. Woo.
Stop that, you shit.
As soon as possible. But I have time.
When does it start?
It started half an hour ago.
When are you playing?
That was too bad.
When are you expected there?
Jeremy,
Sometime
what
after.
committee were you asking about?
Musical studies are double degree. I think they're combined under the same one. They basically coordinate all of the the advisors for the conservatory and stuff. And they are required to have a double degree or conservatory person.
Okay, yeah, that has
Yes.
no student seats available.
No student seats available.
One of the
Okay.
committees were both occupied. Sorry.
So Ben, do we need to do this like right this like second, or can we like move?
No.
If you guys want to like handle other stuff while I write all these down, but we have to do this at Plenary.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, you do that. I'll
We need to take a picture before Jeremy leaves.
Nolan isn't here.
Wait.
Nolan isn't here
It has
either.
to be 2 day.
Please not.
Nolan
We can
isn't
update
here.
it next week, y'all. We can literally update it next week. Let's just get something up.
Okay, do you have the
Yeah.
list?
Yeah. I think.
I'm sorry y'all didn't wear your
Can we
best
remind
attire.
No, the campus is not
Not
showered.
my
Yeah,
fault.
seriously.
So right
It's
there.
not my fault. I still look good
The
unshowered.
photo is a picture of Ben Franklin.
My hair's all
Like it's
greasy.
that silly.
It is.
Why did he make
Wait,
the photo?
are we
I did, it
seriously
was like
doing
another
We're doing this without Nolan?
Oh, Nolan's
And
hard.
Nolan's not here every single week, so it's like we can Photoshop.
Okay, so
in
let's
fact,
tell everyone to
if-
be here next week.
No.
Yeah,
like,
like, if
I
anyone-
promise you,
if,
I
like-
I tried. to
Isn't that a
last
problem
semester,
that
it
someone
was-
The
is
funniest
always
person
absent?
to
No,
be
it's not always
photoshopped in would be Nolan.
He's missed.
As long as it's not the
Please
same person always absent.
How about we just
Let's do something.
Photoshop an entire photo?
Yeah.
I like
Put it
that
all
idea a
together.
lot.
Can we just take like
Because
Facebook
it's
profiles and put them in a
clear
grid?
to me now.
Just take the photo.
Yeah.
If you don't like
Guys,
it,
Guys, we'll take it
Put-
after. We'll take it after we get through the checkouts. How
I'm
about that?
shy.
No.
No.
He has to leave. So there'll be 2 people absent if we
It
don't.
should not be this.
Well, I
Do it
mean,
now or-
we shouldn't do it with anybody else. We should. just
Okay,
do it.
everyone's making the stressful.
It doesn't matter if I'm here or not because we're
We don't
already
just do
missing
it.
someone. Just like take a picture from my Facebook or something.
We're damned if we do.
You know what? Why don't we just? You know
Can
what?
we figure out the
Just
committees?
do it.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
do it. Literally,
Stay-
take 5
okay.
minutes.
Okay, Ben's doing the committees right now.
Really?
What do you want to take? Okay.
Thank you.
So you want to do it like yes?
Can you make it horrible?
I doth
Okay,
protest.
okay, that's what.
Can we do like a funny photo?
What do we do?
I'm gonna stand like this.
Oh, why don't you stand like this?
Yes! Oh my gosh.
What are we doing?
Short, so I'll just.
Wait, I don't like the sweater. 1 second.
Oh my god.
Yeah, everyone looks really
Oh.
good. I'm not wearing
Squeeze
shoes.
in just a little bit. A little squeezing in. There we go.
Are we not smiling?
Oh,
No,
wait, what do we
frown.
not
Maybe very
Wait,
serious.
no.
Are we not listening?
No.
I don't know. Okay,
So no
everybody.
smiles.
Wait, are
1,
we?
2, 3.
We're not
Let
smiling.
me take a couple.
No, no
I'm
smiling.
smiling.
No smiles.
I'm not
not smiling.
smiling. Okay, ready?
I'm
Action.
Smiling.
We're going to
I'm a nice
Alright.
What are you laughing at?
Smiley.
Well done, ladies and gentlemen.
No, wait,
Is
let's-
it terrible?
Yeah, let's see how we feel.
Was it wonderful?
Need that.
Oh, I love it.
I was like, yo, look out of here. Debson,
I don't know. It'll be on Facebook too.
Okay.
Oh boy.
That was exciting. See how
So
fun that was? It took us a
now
hot
we are
second.
on discussions.
No, we have to do this.
No, but we're waiting.
It's not done yet,
He's
dude.
writing it.
Did everyone get my email? That I
Yeah.
should have just shared a document with you.
Yeah.
So you can go on there and check whichever open as well.
So does that mean that we don't have to go back to?
The next discussion thing is gonna take me like 5 minutes.
Wait, they're not making smoothies.
Oh yeah, Ben, they're not making smoothies. Jordan.
Oh.
Are we taking a break?
Okay.
No, I'm
Jordan's taking a break.
Do you want to take a break?
I would love to take a break.
All right, how about we take a 3-minute break? I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
3 minutes?
Why don't you figure out what?
Oh, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Wait.
Alright.
I want to be on diversity and equality.
Diversity. I don't think that's a
Alright.
good Diversity and equality?
Why don't you have
Equity and diversity.
I don't understand. How do I put on my
Oh my god.
So we've got next just like discussions and that. So Mahmoud said that like this like should only take like for his part should only take not cut.
Well, if you're ready, write it.
So.
Yeah, this one takes.
Okay, Jeremy. Before you.
Okay.
Student life.
So these are the choices we have. Yeah. Quick caveat about this one. Educational technology, it says that we only have seats open for conservatory students. So that's basically just the difference.
And also,
if he wants.
EPPC is full.
Yep.
Okay.
What? No, because it's wait, me, you.
It's 4.
Who's the fourth person?
There are 4 people on that committee?
Yeah.
Me, you.
Rachel and Monica.
Oh, Monica.
Could you guys ask them to like email me?
They're on the chart. We're all on the chart.
It's an impossible system.
Wait, hold on. I
We're
don't
all
think
on
they're on the committee anymore.
We're all on
No,
the chart,
I've,
and
like,
we all
seen
go to
them.
meetings.
When were they appointed?
This fall. We were all reconfirmed this fall. It says it right there.
Was this during interim senate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so these are the choices. Yeah, we're all required to be on committees. We can't open up new spots on committees, so yeah.
Well, I'd like to get community-based learning.
Okay.
Do you need to like explain
Are you-
why? So how are we going about this?
Wait, are you already on a general faculty committee as liaison?
Well, I'm on.
Planning is on here. That counts.
Strategic planning is not a general faculty committee, though. I don't think.
Aren't you on the general planning committee or something like that?
No, there was some committee that liaisons supposed to be on there. I asked them, and they don't actually have this committee anymore.
So you.
Yeah, so I'd like to do that one also.
Okay. Which one? Community-based learning.
Community-based learning. Well, does anyone else want to do it? We can.
Well, I'll just write down everyone who wants to do it, and then we'll figure it out.
Oh shit. I'd like to do. Well, you wanted to do equity and diversity, right?
There are a bunch of.
There are 4 spots though.
Okay, I'd like to put my name for that.
You guys just want to go in a circle?
Yeah.
Taken.
Admissions and financially.
Student assemblies is one.
Yeah.
We're going
I think that's general faculty. Might not be. Yep, general faculty.
What's that say?
Mini lecture series.
You have to be a junior.
Junior and
So
up.
cool.
Right, junior.
Well, I guess at this point, if you're a senior,
I'd like to be on the assessment committee.
What does advising?
I see.
They advise.
Sounds interesting.
What?
They probably, in the same way that the musical studies one sets out advising for the conservatory, I imagine they do something similar for the college. But I might be completely wrong.
Corey.
I guess I'm interested in advising. It doesn't say what it specifically does, although Jeremy was just...
Just search it and the how.org website comes up.
Yeah, search it in the encyclopedia.
Okay.
Student life.
Student life? Okay. Let me just make sure. That says we have 3 seats
Anjali?
available.
I'm technically on it.
Well, are there available seats?
They've never met.
Wonderful.
There should be.
Bureaucracy.
So, I mean, sure, right? Eric?
Sure what?
Is there space for him? He wanted to. Okay.
We could chat.
Tina would know. She knows everything.
Molly, you're already on a committee, yeah? Already on a committee, you're on library.
The venerable library.
Venerable. Yeah, so I think we have one spot left on the libraries committee. If someone really wants to do that, but it's only for conservators.
So.
Once again, basically just Jeremy.
So I have a safety
You have a lot
choice.
of choices. You. Okay.
Deborah,
You better going around.
I already won.
You already said, did you
Already
record
won.
what you wanted?
I don't think you wrote it down though. She wanted equity and diversity.
Yes.
Doc?
Should I only say one? Or should I give you the ones that I'd like to be on?
Sure, do you have multiple you'd like to be on?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I want to be appointed to multiple, but I'd be down with admissions and financial aid or the Finney lecture series.
Okay. Megan.
Yeah, I would also like the admissions and financial aid or the equity and diversity. Sorry.
What was the second one? Equity and diversity?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll be in winter term.
Actually, can you winter term too?
Sure. I don't know how many spots we have open for yet.
There's one.
Oh.
This just got exciting.
That's why I wanted to do this all at once. Is in the past it's been worse.
Start working on your speech.
Did everyone pick one?
Elaborate on that.
Yes? Okay, then let's get down to voting, right?
Okay, so now we have to figure out who's getting what. So first off, admissions and financial aid.
I think we should vote on Jeremy's first, just because he's
Yeah.
gonna leave. So why don't we go up, down,
Oh,
down?
yeah. I was thinking we're settling this. I mean, for the ones that don't have more than one house.
Okay, so are you done?
Yeah, I think Jeremy, I think you're good to go.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Yep.
Wait, what time are you playing, Jeremy?
What?
He has a recital.
I don't know. Potentially at any point after 9.
At the cat.
At the cat.
Oh, that's
What is this face that you're giving me?
Good luck.
Thank you.
Mock face.
Okay, admissions and financial
Are you
aid.
performing?
No.
Admissions and financial aid has 2 open seats, so one of them is for students looking for students. So we have 1 seat open for our society students.
On admissions and financial aid.
Yeah, and 3 people would like to do it.
What did you say?
We've only got 1 spot.
Admissions?
Admissions and financial aid.
And who it was me, Megan, and who's the last person?
Alright.
Do you guys want to give me a thing?
Let's fight it out, y'all.
So,
How many spots were open on equity and diversity? 4?
yeah.
And how many people asked for that?
3.
So Megan, do you want to be on both?
No.
So you have an auto spot on equity and diversity. If you
I have no idea.
I do.
Yeah.
Well, there are 4 open
There's
seats.
4 open spots on equity and diversity, and only 3 people want it. But only 1 spot on admissions and 3 people want it.
Yeah, I'm fine with going on equity and diversity.
Other people can too, so
Yep.
that's
One of
throwing
them.
that out there.
But like just to make this process a little simpler, I'm fine with that.
And Ty, are you cool with the Finney lecture?
I would definitely prefer to be on the admissions and financial aid committee. Finney would be fun, but I feel like admissions is more important.
Okay.
Definitely is.
I don't know how you guys want to decide this, but
Oh, why don't they give a little thing? Maybe we can vote.
sure.
Okay. Go.
I'm happy to speak first. Is that what we're doing? I feel like I know a lot about admissions and financial aid. I learned a lot about it last semester. We uncovered lots of data. I'm working with Ben and Jordan in transparency. I'm like pretty done and involved in transparency last semester and excited to be involved in it as it picks up again. And my general priorities on admissions and financial aid is trying to figure out what's the best distribution of financial aid between making sure that we are getting have financial aid for low income students, making sure accessibility is a priority, trying to have real good discussions on merit aid and where that has value and maybe where those resources might be redirected. Yeah.
Who was the other person?
Ariana.
I don't know a whole lot about financial aid, but I am very willing to learn about it, and I'm like hoping to learn more about it and help to make change to help make the school more accessible for low-income students and especially students of color. So that would be my goals, and we have to work towards that. It's a terrible speech. Anyway.
Executive session?
Wait, Ariana, what year are you? Just
I'm a first year.
okay, cool.
I don't think the committee has a.
Yeah, no, I was just okay.
Should we executive session?
Yeah, I think we have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we go into executive.
So I'll just shut this off, walk outside.
Yep.
Secretary.
Okay.
I love being the secretary. I gotta
Let's
tell
look at
everyone here.
Job
I
do you
took
have a
it.
second choice for?
It was very benevolent.
Looking at
But
that,
I
really
love
just
it.
need to figure out what
I do.
times they meet.
I like taking notes.
I like
And also, do you have a position?
that. No, I don't.
We should do that. Reach us. Do you want to get rid of one of your positions? Because you have too many, right?
Oh, yeah.
Classic.
Do you want to be a committee appointment coordinator?
Committee appointment coordinator.
Yes.
You interview students who are not on Senate and want to get appointed to one of the general faculty committees, and you just interview them, and you say what they did well.
You check the
And then-
committee's email.
Yeah, and then you bring it up in the next meeting of the Senate, and you're like, this person's really great, or they're really terrible, which hasn't happened yet. You should put them on the committee, and then we vote based on your recommendation.
Okay. I can do that.
Or whatever. What was that? He's not here.
Community
No,
liaison.
governance.
Risk
Oh,
lending?
right, he was, no.
He was Oscar liaison
He was
too, right?
No.
Zach
Your governance, right?
I'm governance.
Yeah, he was governance.
Your governance here, no, but,
He
yeah.
was I'm pretty sure he was a community liaison.
I can check
I
the
think he
website.
was.
Yeah.
Who, Zach Crowell was governance chair.
No, that was first
No.
semester.
This semester he was before he resigned, he was
Community liaison.
This
City
semester.
of City of Oberlin liaison. Zach
Oh,
Crowell.
he's city liaison.
Oh.
If you wanted to
Oh,
leave
that's
for
fun.
the city.
yeah.
That might be like a lot.
Anjali, can
actually-
you comment? I mean, that was you and Megan,
I
right?
did the job last year. It was last semester. It was fine. You go to the you go to the city hall meetings. You are supposed to have a forum on something like a city issue once a semester, which I didn't do. And that was basically it. I think that probably the other option, committee appointments person, that's a more. I think it's a better job, but
It's also a bit more of a commitment though.
it's more of a time commitment.
Committee appointments coordinator is like a concrete thing where like you have to do this thing. City liaison is much more of like you make out of this what you
Yeah.
want it to be. Like you could do really amazing stuff as city liaison, but it's definitely like self-directed project type of position.
And it's also it's from 7 to about 10 on Mondays, every other Monday. So that's something to consider.
I would say though that having a city liaison is definitely something we should have.
Yes.
Also, we don't
Yeah,
want to like
having
force
been
you.
there, I push back.
Yeah, having been there, having been to meetings, I'm not sure it's actually as relevant as you guys think
Also,
it
we
is.
I see no reason why we don't change that bylaw on
I
that
agree.
position. Like,
I agree wholeheartedly.
Like,
Wait, what do you mean?
It doesn't like.
It's not
we don't-
required.
It's not a
it's
required
it's
position
a
at
welcome.
all.
No,
I
I'm
know, but
saying
what's
why
ascribed
is
to
the
there?
requirement that you have to go to city council every time when there's way more productive things you could be doing as city liaison.
Oh.
with
And the
that
review
time.
okay.
or some publication or
Yep.
send someone there every single one.
Is it
that
too late
has
to
stay
change the
full time.
bylaw?
I've done
No,
it.
we can change the bylaws, but
Yeah, no,
anyway,
it's
we
something
should
we
talk
can
to
talk
her
about.
about what she
Putting it
actually
on
wants
the
to do
list.
instead
Okay.
of.
Awesome.
You can also think about this for a while, like, you know.
Yeah, why don't we do this
Wait,
first?
Mark,
We can
what
come
about
back
the
to that.
police?
Okay.
And, should we go to that as city liaison?
Do you want to? What's next? on the list?
Advising. So we've got one applicant for advising. According to our records, we have
good 2 hours. Okay.
But didn't Corey move? Just something else.
What? No, I'm on two things.
He knows that.
one open seat for
Wait,
our
so you
science
write
students.
What?
For advising?
So unless as long as no one else wants to be on advising,
Well,
Corey, do you want to be on advising?
no, I do, but I also don't want to be on both, and I would be more interested in deciding whether Rachel, who is going to be winter term, if she's okay with that. We can move on to other things.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So would you like us to decide winter term first?
We can do that, or we can skip advising and assessment and take care of everyone else first, depending on Rachel's feelings.
I mean, I don't
Let's
know.
just do
I'd
it.
prefer to be doing winter term.
Okay, let's just do winter term now.
Okay.
Okay, we've got one open spot on winter
Yeah.
term. So
You want to start?
Sure. I am, to contextualize it, I am interested in advising, but it sounds like it's something that is relatively slow on the ground, and that they don't necessarily mean a whole lot, though that might be changing. Winter term, my perception is that it's pretty active, and I've really enjoyed my winter term experiences, and I think people have trouble, especially as first years, kind of tapping into that in the first place. So I guess I just want to help make sure winter term's kind of an enjoyable experience for everyone, and that they can distribute funds as they need to make the more important things happen, because it's one of the things that they do. That's kind of all I have to say about it.
Cool. Yeah, I want to be on the winter term committee because I've enjoyed winter term, but I've also found problems with winter term. I think in large part, even when you're looking for resources about internships or programs that you can do for winter term, or even what's possible for winter term, yeah, there's a winter term fair and that's great and fun, but not everyone can go to the winter term fair. And also, I just also don't think that funding and what's possible as far as getting grants from the college, I don't think that's accessible information to people. So something I would want to work on specifically is making all that information more accessible, making people more I guess aware of OB ops and things like that, and making that more understandable for people. So I would hope working with the Career Center would be good. That's something I'd want to contribute. That's it. That's all I have to say. Love the winter.
Very solid.
He's got the hat though.
I do. I'm always prepared with the hat.
I wonder what's gonna look.
Yeah, does Corey have hair anymore?
I do. It's there. It's growing.
Okay, so we want to make an executive session.
Oh, yeah.
Unless anyone has questions for Rachel and I, but yeah.
Cool. Executive session.
Also, we always make this mistake. You need to the recording third party during executive session.
She left.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
she
no,
left
I
last
walked
time.
out.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
We did not make that.
Yep.
Let me think a minute.
But yeah, maybe.
How often is advisory meeting?
Well, that's the thing. We don't know.
Yeah, Eric said that they don't meet very often now, but they might be meeting more often.
Yeah.
I'd like to do athletics.
Okay. Let me just make sure.
Yes, athletics.
Let's go.
What are athletics?
Yeah, what do we do?
I was on that my first year. They
Athletics?
basically, yeah.
How was it?
Not what I thought it'd be. It's basically just setting the schedule and making sure you don't conflict with any Jewish holidays. So that's the main. Seriously, that's the main issue they have.
You sound a little bitter about that.
I learned a lot about Jewish
It's
holidays.
those damn Jewish holidays.
No, I love the Jewish
Ruin
holidays.
everything.
Yom Kippur.
I'm a big fan of them.
Okay, so I guess if Corey's not decided on advising, we're gonna move on. Okay, I'm good with Rachel first. That's fine. Unless you also want to do assessment.
I'll do both. Actually, no, it meets every other week.
Also, like, keep in mind, like, in terms of like keeping spots open for other students as well. So, community-based learning, Mahmoud.
Yes.
You good with that?
Yeah.
Okay,
You guys want
you're
to
the only
say?
applicant, so all in favor of appointing Mahmoud to the community-based learning committee?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
No,
Okay, all opposed? All abstaining? Okay, cool.
Appreciate it. Let's learn.
Let's learn. I'm sorry. Just got that slide on by right now. I hate it.
I can't find my pen, I'm sorry.
Do you want pen? Got this. So you need a pan? Like has a little
That's hilarious.
Boiling water.
Okay, athletics committee, we've got one applicant, there's one spot open, so should work well. All in favor of appointing Ariana to the athletics committee?
Aye.
All opposed? All abstaining? Okay, cool.
Also, I'm pretty sure we're not allowed to have our door closed.
That is.
It was closed when I walked in here. I thought y'all were in executive session or some shit.
We may have been. We were.
Okay.
Well,
Equity
the
and
door were closed because of the voting.
equity and diversity. We have 3 candidates, 4 open seats. So all in favor of appointing Daryl, Deborah, and Megs to the equity and diversity committee? All opposed? All abstaining? Okay, cool.
Molly, did you sign up for anything?
I'm already
You're
on the
already
meeting.
on.
Yeah.
Which one are you on?
Educational plans and policies.
Oh, right. With,
Then I'll just take advising.
that's awesome, y'all.
To take advising?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hang the cool
All in
thing, hang
favor
the
of appointing Corey to the advisory committee?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
All abstaining?
We're good.
Can we just leave the rest as block?
Finney lecture. Oh wait, Ty, you already got
If there, so there's 2 spots open. It doesn't say how much it meets. I'm interested in just like at least seeing what it is. So
Do you want to like hold off? Think about
maybe
it
I'll
for a
hold
minute?
off and just like reach out to the chair and see what the commitment is because it'd still be fun.
If you want to do it, we can always just reappoint you next week too.
Yeah. So I'll reach out and see if that's a real thing.
Cool. Let's see. Student life.
This is for Jeremy.
Okay. All in favor of appointing Jeremy to student life committee?
Aye.
All opposed? All abstaining? Okay. Is there anything left?
No. Oh, you. What are you on?
Oh yeah.
Come on, Ben.
LOL.
I'll do. I'll do student assemblies. I don't want to do the vote myself. But I was like, okay, all in favor of appointing me to the student assemblies committee?
Why they oppose me?
All opposed? All abstaining? Okay. That's everyone.
Yeah, buddy.
So, basically, you guys should try to get in contact with the chair. If the chair is listed as with like a question mark or an orange or something, just let me know. I will help you get in contact with them. And Mahmoud,
Yes, sir.
you were saying, so we're not going to get any sort of list? Because you were talking
Until
about,
after spring break.
is there any way we could get it sooner?
Yeah.
Okay. It would be really great.
Yeah.
Because I needed to send out the evaluation.
Okay, so next is like discussions, and that's like basically the last thing. A lot of the stuff we kind of like talked about, like on it is like group photo for media, which we like did, and then information from Dean Estes, which was which we did. Mahmoud, can you talk about the tobacco implementation committee?
Yeah, so if you guys remember, well, I guess they're new people, but basically we committed to going tobacco free as a college. I'm not sure if you guys heard.
I totally missed that.
You know, well, it's happening. And so part of that is having an implementation team that helps the transition between where we are now and a year out from now. And so we're putting together what it's going to look like, and it's going to be 2 students that I got Student Senate to be able to nominate. So I wanted to talk to you guys about how you guys wanted to go about that process, and if you wanted to make it like
we nominate or we appoint?
nominate, which would essentially mean appoint.
Okay.
So one of them would be a college student and one conservatory, just because they're different.
How many people in total are on the committee?
Wait, only 2 students?
One sec. It's like 8 or 9.
So are like students like you who've been working on it included in the committee, but not included in the student spots?
Yeah.
How many is it just
What's the
you?
composition of the whole
Is it
committee?
you and
Okay, so it's myself, R. Adams, who works in the student health office, Megan, or a professor from the college to be named, a professor for the conservatory to be named, somebody from human resources, somebody from SNS, and that would be it.
There was
What?
one person from health on there?
From the health office.
What if, because there are so many fewer students in the con, what if there were no candidate, just potentially, who was interested in being an active member of this committee?
I'm sure we can find one con student who's very interested in student health and would be interested in policy work.
That's what we say. That's what we say every time.
Yeah.
50% of the time.
Jeremy's
Ideal for that.
I think Jeremy would be perfect for it. And I mean,
He would
I
actually
would be able to grab
He's
him.
also a very, very, very busy person.
Yeah,
Yeah, this
that
will
is-
be
that
1
is-
hour
Yeah,
a
he
month.
would be a month.
1 hour a month.
Oh.
And emails.
Would be
So it's not like a lot.
We only have a lot of emails.
So, I mean, just like process-wise, how do you guys want to go about this? Do you want to send an all-campus email and say people were interested to apply? Do you want to just discuss this internally? Because I know some of you guys are interested. How do you want to do it?
Was there anyone here who's interested?
I'm interested, but we certainly send a whole campus email.
Yeah. I say campus email.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit confused about how how was the committee composed? Like, how was the numbers decided?
President Krislov sat down and decided these things with people who are on the committee before.
I think you should send out an email asking people and explaining that you need a college and a conservatory representative.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you need to get Jeremy to advertise it in the conservatory.
Or Albert.
Okay, so you'll get is everyone general feelings on the
Albert
email?
might actually be interested in that.
I'm sure he would.
Or any other?
That's like the best.
Okay, I'll drop that tomorrow.
Great.
So next, Anjali has something, but that pronounced your name correctly?
Yeah, Anjali, yeah. I just wanted to, because Megan and I were talking about the South Campus Forum, and I just wanted to talk to you guys about whether or not you wanted it to be a Senate forum, or if you wanted us to just take care of it between the 2 of us. I mean, I think it has more clout if you guys all have to be there, but...
Yeah, I can tell you the right answer to that question.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm going to heavily imply it.
Okay, the South Campus Forum is one.
We haven't set a
We
date.
don't know anything. We just
We
wanna
haven't
make
set a
sure
date.
that
I
we
just
know
wanted you guys to like be in the loop that we're thinking about doing this, that we want you guys all to be there, that you'll be required to be there.
We should totally do some like publicity as well.
Yeah, yeah. So you guys are all okay with making that a student senate forum?
Sure, totally.
Great.
Absolutely.
Do it.
Okay, cool.
Jill, can I add one thing really quickly to the discussion?
Oh, yeah.
Just an idea that Nolan and I were talking about with publicity.
Okay.
Oh, that actually reminds me. Sorry. Luke Taylor got back to me. If people want to be on his March 16th show, we can talk about that next plenary.
Oh, yeah.
So Molly, what did you want to say publicity?
The day before.
Taylor, good talk with Luke Taylor.
I want to be on it.
Okay, we'll discuss this next time.
Guys, Molly.
We're going to discuss the
Sorry,
16th
Molly.
on the 15th?
Way more
Yeah.
shit than anything.
No. Yeah.
Stacked you.
Was there something else before me? I don't want to jump.
No. It was. I just remembered something.
Okay. Well, so Nolan and I were talking right before the forum that we just had on Saturday, and Deborah was out of town, so even though Nolan and Deborah are technically the event people, I'm not trying to blame you for anything, but he was just sort of left in the lurch to publicize, to put up posters. A lot of it fell on him. So I know that we're all technically responsible for putting up things and jumping in to help with publicity, but it sort of seemed like a good idea to designate for each event 5 or so people to be the point people for publicity. Like, you'd still have the events coordinators as the leaders, but then we would know that it was really your turn to step up and do a lot of postering. Does that sound like thoughts?
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I think that's smart, and I think we should have like a Google Doc for it, maybe something where we could like Google Doc. I said that right.
No,
Yeah,
no, you're
I
fine.
think accountability would be good. I'm not gonna lie. Did I hang up posters? No, I didn't. I should be held accountable for that. So next time, I'll make a Google spreadsheet.
We can incentivize ourselves with some
We don't
sort
need
of
to
reward.
incentivize.
Well,
Just
Nolan,
I need an incentive.
no, okay,
for yourself.
I'll give you one. Nolan reminded me that it's paid to do an hour of postering or half an hour of postering.
Yeah, I can listen with them for now.
Who? There it is.
It's all about the money.
Also, like, people shouldn't forget that we do, as I was saying earlier, we do have like a board downstairs. So like,
Well,
it's
that's
like
student engagements.
We've
It's
got
like-
we've got plans for the board.
it's like kind of sad that like we don't even like. I put up like a poster there for our event like 2 days before or something like that, like, but there wasn't one, and we never put anything up there. Like, it's like the one place where we should have at least something, but.
We're gonna.
We got a plan.
We got a plan
for that.
Speaking of
We'll see.
advertising,
We did.
I'll take your word for it.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna set a deadline for that, so
Okay.
look out for an email from me.
Speaking of advertising, the Facebook event, it says that the trustee forum / listening session is happening March 12th through the 13th.
Yeah.
That's causing some confusion, so we should address that. A SUP event there. Thank you.
How many people should
Yeah,
Oh.
I have to return this laptop.
Okay.
So I'm going to.
Oh, I was just gonna. You were interested in Luke Taylor, though. I just
Rachel.
okay. Because Corey brought up an excellent point, which is we can't talk about the 16th on the 15th. So
Or like we
I wanna, if that's something that like people want to do, that's something we're gonna have to discuss. I mean, maybe we could do it through email. Is that better for everyone? Email?
I mean,
Okay.
like, who's interested in doing it?
I could be interested, but
Oh, I
that said, I think that Nolan and Molly should actually do it because I'm trying to push for it to be about the break stuff.
Oh, it's right before that.
Yeah, it's right before that, so I thought like the people involved with that should do it. If you want to. If you don't want to, you can get other people, but I think that
It'll
you
be fun.
guys were the most involved.
Is that 11 o'clock on Monday?
Yeah.
I could do that.
No pressure. I'm gonna send out an email. We can talk about this.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
just
that sounds good.
yeah. I just Corey brought up a good point. I don't want everyone to think we're gonna discuss it next week when that's obviously ridiculous.
If Obi-Ware can promote themselves.
That's right.
We've like talked about the trustee forum already, right?
Well, not,
Oh, well, how are we gonna
well,
advertise?
we need to get more people to sign up because if we don't by 4:30 tomorrow, they're going to cancel it.
What is-
I got it.
Okay,
I'm
what's
going
the
to share it on my
threshold?
Facebook.
Threshold, make it, if we get 15 each group, I think that's okay.
That's 15.
Also, like, put like post like
numbers are
Oberlin
cut off for that?
2016,
Like-
2017, 2018,
15 per group,
2015.
so 15 times 5.
I think this is super fucked up, honestly.
That's a lot.
I do too, but
Like, no, like, I think this is,
Wait,
this
so-
is like an incredibly screwy move the trustees threw at us.
Yeah, I think it's
Oh, yeah.
cancelled.
They-
it's not,
they-
it's not trustees.
Okay, the student trustees and Aaron Appel on Facebook in a comment that he wrote on Corey Share, I think was very right. Like, they set up an organization, they set up a way of meeting with the trustees that deliberately like hurts students' ability to organize, to present political problems to them. And then when student apathy was high, they like gave us an ultimatum of the amount of people needed to sign up in order for the forum to go on. Like, for me, this is pretty outrageous. I don't really understand, like, and now we're in like this weird place where on the one hand, like, I want the forum to go on so students can stay engaged with the trustees, but on the other hand, like, this is really outrageous. Like, I don't like being a part to this dumb game that they're playing where they change the way the forum works to make students less politically able to present opinions, and then are upset when there's an apathetic response, and like give us an ultimatum about the number of people who have to sign up in advance.
There were the merits of having smaller groups and that you would have more forthright discussions, right? So most people would say afterwards, like, when we have the forum, there's like the beginning part where we kind of mingle with them, then there's the performance part, and then there's after we have conversations again. People generally have more productive conversations.
Right, that's one merit, but I think productive is actually being used as a code word here for breaking down the big, massive student protesters into smaller groups that are easier for the trustees to manage, and I think there's also less strength in numbers of students. Like, I think we should be promoting this because I think it needs to go on. But I have serious problems with the way the trustees manage this whole event, and I think that they made a series of deliberate decisions in the wake of the last trustee open forum, which didn't go the way they liked, to make this one go the way they liked more.
Can I talk about this? So I spoke with Joe Condon, class of 2013, on the phone the other day about this, and it turns out that the way the forums are organized is that it falls on the shoulders of the 3 class trustees to organize these. So in a way, this is like the intern grunt work of the trustee, the whole board of trustees. And they have spent so many hours on the phone talking with trustees to convince adult members, or non-class members of the board of trustees, to come to this because it's optional. And so I'm not trying to defend anyone, but saying that we want the trustees who felt very attacked last semester and didn't want to come back this time, maybe this is making them more likely to come back, and we want as many of those trustees to come so they can speak with students. So that's part of the calculation in this.
But like, how do the trustees expect to have like fruitful discussions when all they do is try to like break our foundation? You know, it's like they keep saying that like, oh, we want like fruitful discussions, we want to grow, we want like we want like, you know, a relationship with the students, but they keep like you know, like they want it. It seems like they want it from a point of like us being sort of like subject to like make them happy, instead of us students and administration like working to make the school actually better.
That's not the intention at all, and I think part of it is trying something new. So maybe this isn't the best idea, but it's trying something new to see if they can have a different outcome than last semester.
I mean, it's still groups of 25.
Yeah,
so
it's 25.
It's not like people are just like being broken. I think, in fact, something we suggested on the Facebook page was get together with people who have similar interests so you can focus the discussion on one thing you want to. Because we wanted to do that in getting the names of the trustees beforehand, but they didn't want to do that to raise expectations, right?
Also, like, the trustees aren't like innocent bystanders in this. It's like they were like last semester. It's like, okay, yeah, they felt attacked. I mean, but like they were just. I mean, a lot of them were also just being like ignorant and kind of like, I mean, assholes in some like respects. So I mean, if it's like these people can't just come and be all like, oh, like respect us, when first they have like screwed up institutions that are kind of consistently being in play, and they just like they don't like do anything to warrant our like respect.
Well, they give a lot of money, and one of them just gave $500,000, and so I think I'm not trying to like justify.
Whole, like,
yeah, but they all give a lot of money, and I'm not saying that to say like we should like play on their terms, but it does mean that if we keep going about things like we have, and we're going to keep getting the same result, then eventually that's not going to keep happening.
First of all, I think that the last trustee open forum was not unique, but and not an anomaly either, but didn't set a pattern that was going to continue for every other trustee open forum they had. It happened at a very tense.
How many have you gone to? It's been like that for the last 4 straight.
That's not true. I was at one at the beginning of this year.
What do you mean it's been like?
Like I was in the one in Oberlin at the beginning of this year. That was very civil.
But that was because no students went. Like.
No, there were plenty of students there. We had a turnout of 40 kids.
That's like not that much. Like.
Okay, but
well, compared to the last one, it's not that much. That's still a sizable like number compared to like.
Throw out the following. I mean, I hear what everyone is saying. I think one of the things to think about is that there are going to be opportunities and challenges in relationship to whatever the format is, right? And that applies for students and trustees alike. I think there has been a sort of long, sort of existing and ongoing conversation about format, right? And I think there are a variety of, again, upsides and downsides to different formats, and maybe people advocate for, you know, a particular type of format or another based on how they read the different upsides and downsides. I think I would encourage 2 things. One is to, again, see this as an experiment, right? And if it crashes and burns, then there's going to have to be an ability to say next time maybe we do it differently or we do it similarly to the way it was done in the past. Again, I don't think anyone should see this as a sort of, this is it for the foreseeable future. And then the other thing is, I mean, I think the opportunity, at least of a smaller group, is in part the ability of students to go and say, you know what, here are the reasons why I find this new format uncomfortable or less desirable. And the ability to say, you know, maybe I like the old format better, or maybe I have an idea that you haven't thought about in terms of what the forum can look like in, you know, October of next year, right? So again, I actually don't think it's an attempt to sort of preclude particular kinds of conversation. I think it's actually an attempt to sort of try and do something a little different and see how it works. And, you know, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't.
Have they like tried like this type of method before though, of like, you know, dividing like, you know, the student I guess attendance and like, you know, putting like event in like very like small rooms and putting it in places that it's hard to like mobilize like big groups of people? Haven't they like tried that in the past?
No. Well, not in our time.
Here's what I would say. Like, I appreciate that it's been a long process, but for us as Senate, this came onto my radar screen last week as an email, and it had a huge list of changes. And then shortly after that email, we had a long discussion about, well, here are all the things that would make students less apathetic about joining this, and here are all the ways you gear this towards having the political conversations that students on this campus are interested in having with the trustees. And my understanding is Mahmoud and Megan raised those objections with the student trustees and were told no. And then after that, they were told also attendance needs to be X, or X people need to sign up or else we're canceling the event. So now Senate's in this position where we have to advertise something that is politically going to look to the student body to be conservative. It's going to feel like it's politically out of line with what the student body wants. And Senate is in a position where we have to drive up the amount of people who show up. So now all of a sudden we're the representatives of a conservative administration, or at least what appears to be a conservative administration in the student body, which made a decision in the wake of a forum that went poorly for them, but student protesters feel like went really well for them in terms of expressing their protest. And we are now like the face of the people moving against the protesters. Like that's not why I'm on Senate. And I feel offended, honestly, that the trustees think that they can A, list all the demands, and then B, give us this weird ultimatum of the amount of people that have to sign up on a Google Doc in order for the event to go on. I appreciate that there's pragmatics at work here, and that some kind of compromise needs to be made, right? Like, we're two sides with disagreements and we're trying to have a meeting. Obviously compromises have to be made on both sides. I just wish that the students had been made more part of the process to begin with. And I would hope that in the wake of this we kind of acknowledge it as a mistake the way it ended up shaping up, at least for us. And that moving forward, we have a better working relationship with the student trustees around this sort of thing. Because this is outrageous. Like, if this happens again, like...
Totally.
Well, I'm going to push back against the idea that this is necessarily a conservative thing to do. Because at the end of the day, we have 5 rooms with 25 people. And I think that most people who have productive conversations with the trustees in these forums say that it's not during the meeting, it's afterwards in a small setting. So, like, if we're talking about, do we want to facilitate protests more? Sure, maybe this isn't the best thing to do, but if we want to facilitate those conversations, then I personally think this is better.
Well, that's exactly my point. Students aren't interested in facilitating these small, quote, productive conversations, or they are, and they pursue it in their own avenue. What they're interested in using these forums for is what they did with the last forum. They expressed their protest.
Don't we have to decide whether or not to get them or not?
I think we have. I think a lot of students have decided, though. Like,
that protesting is better than having meaningful conversations?
I mean, I think a lot of students, that's
You're setting up a false dichotomy here. Using the open forum as a protest avenue does not rule out the ability of students to engage in small one-on-one discussions with the trustees, which is what the last protest showed, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was attempted, and the trustees just kind of like shot it down. Like they don't seem to like. They seem to think that we're like this like body of people who just like yell and scream. Like we do like make attempts to like, you know, have like cross, like, you know, to have conversations, to have dialogue with these people, but these people don't seem to like, instead of like actually having like fruitful discussions, they run away, they make these weird parameters, they do all of this like bullshit instead of actually like meeting us like on an equal like playing field, you know?
Can I make another point? Is that the Board of Trustees, the way that a board works is that it's not, individual members of the board aren't allowed to speak for the board without all speaking as a group and having the president be the spokesperson. And so one advantage of this small group setting is that people can have more honest conversations about individuals' experiences and where the trustees are coming from, what their opinions are, because they all have their own opinions, and then they bring those to the Board of Trustees, and that's how they come together and speak as one voice. And so this can, I mean, I feel like this is going to allow the trustees to be more forthcoming with students.
That's a good point.
I think on a slightly more micro level, my biggest problem with the way it's set up is the RSVPing. I don't really understand why that was necessary when you have the small, like you can still have separate spaces, but I don't know, making students sign up does make it difficult.
Yeah. Aside from all of that, so it's at 4:30. What are we gonna do to actually increase? I just posted on all the groups, but I think we need to come up with something.
Well, also, they didn't say like you need X. They just said if we don't get more people, right? So it's like.
I mean, we have at least 4 people for each room.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
If I could separate out 2 issues that I hear in what you said back to me. One set of issues is concern about format, right? And then the other set of concerns is what is Senate's role in promoting a new structure that it didn't necessarily have a say in creating, and at least for some are deeply uncomfortable with how it turned out, right? Even if it is a sort of, let's see how it goes this time and then reassess, right? So, you know, on the front end, I mean, again, I think there has to be a way for the format to work for both groups, for students and for trustees. And I can tell you, if it had been a situation in which there was this sort of, let's just do what we've always done, you would have had very few trustees show up. And I think that you're going to get 25, 26, 27 trustees come to the smaller groups because I think they're excited about, you know, engaging with students and trying something a little different. I don't think it's about not wanting to hear from students, and if it's a question of protest, you know, my experience with students is that if they want to have their voice heard on an issue, and if that involves protest, students find a way, right? And so I think it would be naive, I think, of either trustees or administrators to think that if you change the format, students aren't going to, if they want to, right? And these choices are always students' choices to make, find a way to have their voices heard, right? So I think that's what I would say to the first part. The second part is, I mean, I hear what you're saying in terms of Senate not, you know, playing a substantive role in the creation of where this has gone, at least for this iteration. You know, it is, you know, the responsibility of the class trustees in the end who host the event, right? I do think that you as a group have the right and perhaps the responsibility, as you're pointing out, to continue to push in terms of the things that continue to make you feel uncomfortable about what you're being asked to do and what you're being asked to promote, right? And I mean, I would be shocked, regardless of the numbers, if there was no sort of meeting between trustees and students on Thursday. I mean, my sense is that if it's fewer students, you simply either have smaller groups or you collapse the number of groups a bit and you go that direction. I mean, I understand the desire for there to be a sense of, you know, urgency in terms of wanting students to attend, but I would be shocked if, you know, the response was just sort of a, you know, you got 20 students instead of 30, the event isn't going to happen, right? So, you know, I think I would encourage you all to sort of continue to communicate back around the things that are making you unhappy. Because in the end, you know, you're pointing to the idea that that's your responsibility.
Very quickly, we are past 9:30. If you have to go, you can go. We need to technically vote to extend plenary.
I don't really, I mean, there's only 2 more things that could potentially be, well, the food over break form is that's pretty important, but then the only other thing is the meet the Senate form.
That can
be tabled. Okay, well,
Well, isn't it next week?
did we actually ever officially decide anything?
We never
What?
talked about it.
Yeah, so
I could have sworn
that
we
can be-
committed to next week. Never mind.
So that can be tabled.
that was just an idea.
Food over break form. Anyone have anything to say about that?
Well, like about the one we just had, like our thoughts, or about going forward.
Just going forward.
Seems like we just.
How are y'all doing in terms of organizing all day?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I honestly haven't done
Yeah,
anything since
it's gonna
Saturday.
it's gonna come down to outreach.
Okay.
Thank y'all for doing all that, by the way. That was really good. Well appreciated.
All right. Well then, facilitator for next discussion. Next plenary meeting.
I'll do it. Okay. Just a heads up, I won't be here for next one.
I'm not gonna be
Okay.
here either.
Okay.
So how about we send another email about this form that's a lot less convoluted than the one they wrote originally, that's just kind of urgent and saying that if you don't sign up, then there's a possibility this may not happen, and I think that'll push it. I think if we go on specific listers, that'll help, and then we know people that know like groups of people that typically come to these things, and it'll work out.
I also just want to say that like there's like 35 people signed up or something
There'll be
close to
like
that.
20 people.
Well, 37 people are going. I hope do they actually sign up on the thing?
On the sheet, if you add it up, there's at least 30 people on here. And like it doesn't look like very much when you look at it divided into 5, but in truth, like for getting people to like commit sort of to coming to something.
This one's advanced.
Yeah. That's the other problem I'm having with the whole thing is like, I mean, Oberlin students are just very non-committal with their time, and I think the RSVP makes it sound. So like, I think we need to make it more clear that like, if you put your name down here, you can come. If you don't put your name down, you can't.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true though.
You can.
But, I mean, they're not going to turn away people who don't come.
Well, we.
Are they gonna turn away people who do come?
We should say something.
Or who
about
don't
the-
sign up.
put
They're not
your
going to turn
name
away
down if
people who
there's
don't
a
sign up.
Sure.
That would be horrible if they did.
There's not gonna be like a
They're not
check-in.
good.
They're
And
not.
also, there's no one facilitating except us. So, are we gonna turn away people? I hope not.
I sent an email to a few of my friends, and that had a really high return on people signing up. So I would suggest that all of you do that on your own.
Hey, Mark.
Did all y'all sign up, by the way?
Yeah. Are we doing a retreat this Friday?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that. Are you guys free Friday, 9 o'clock?
I'll be out of town, but you guys have
9 o'clock?
No.
Wait. 9 o'clock?
Yeah. Or late.
Late? Yeah.
Not too late. I'm the only one in this day.
What's the date? What's Friday's date?
13th, Friday the 13th.
Oh,
Maybe
Wait, don't we have the?
Yeah, don't we have
the trustee dinner? Okay, after dinner.
At like 9
Julie's.
What about like 10?
or 10.
Oh, what's actually before?
You can come later.
So how about you make it to Saturday or something?
Well, Saturday we also have.
But we don't. But like, there's no. I don't think there's a big go event.
You want to send out an email, Mark? People can check it out.
So the trustee dinner's on Friday the 15th.
I'm gonna go. I have homework to do.
I think it's hard to be.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Check out, guys.
The
Say bye.
invitation says casual, by the way, so we got that.